It's the Mixed Martial Arts Hour with
The Mixed Martial Arts Hour is back in your life on this Monday, December 19th, 2022. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well for the final time, or at least the final Monday of 2022. We say hello. It's our final Monday show of the year. It's a great time to be alive. A lot to discuss as always. We are rounding third on 2022. There's just 12 days left. And this is actually one of the, I was talking to Mysterious Frank about this before the show, and he was like, shouldn't we be off? And I was like, you know what? You're right. This is actually one of the latest weeks that we've ever gone into the calendar year. Usually we're off the last 2 weeks. Not quite sure why we're here, Frank, if I'm being honest.
Did you see that animation though with the
That was
snowflake?
Tremendous. Yeah,
That's why we're here.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We couldn't have done it last week, right? It wouldn't have.
It wouldn't have fit.
Can we give a special shout out to the?
We can, but he's not in the control room right now. So
Where? Why? He's too bashful?
this is what he does at the beginning of every show. He gets everything ready. He's cooking.
He's cooking. All right. Let GC cook. Well, we should give a shout out to GC. Look what he has done. We've got this. See, I was going to ask him what this was called because I forget.
Show it on frame.
Yeah, there it is.
Garland.
Garland. Like Jeff Garland, the actor?
Like
from,
Jeff Garland from Curb
with a D at the end or an N?
A D.
D. So we've got that. He's dressed it up very nicely. We've got some snow. We've got a menorah, which is very kind. First night lit up. We've got a Christmas tree. We've got presents right over there. We've got more snow. I mean, can I just tell you guys something right here and now? This is my first ever Christmas tree. I've never owned a Christmas tree. I've always wanted to own a Christmas tree. I've always been envious of those who own a Christmas tree. I've never had one. And
Wait, so you have one at home now?
No, this.
This is the Christmas tree that you have.
This is my Christmas tree. Can you show it right over here, Andy? This one. Look at this thing. It's fantastic. There's actual fake snow on it. Can you see that?
That's real snow, Ariel.
Oh, it is real snow. All right. Well, it's fantastic. I love everything about it. And the man responsible for all of this is GC. No one...
Andy, can we show his screen right now? Or just, can we show his desk? Yeah. I just want to show, there he is. There he is, working hard.
No, seriously. Where did he not think that I would give him props?
I don't.
Off the top of the show?
He's always carrying things.
If there was ever a time to sit there and revel in the praise that is coming your way, shower in it, douse yourself in it, it's now.
Yeah, man.
Oh, there he is. We've just been talking about you for the past 5 minutes.
Oh, man. Sorry I missed it,
Where'd you go?
Had to get some things.
Like what? Lunch?
Yeah. Right here.
What is that?
Some Amazon packages? What do we got?
I got a little menorah of my own.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, now we're seeing how the magic is made. I feel
Unboxing
like this is big. People love this stuff. They're there it is.
There
wow, look at you.
Do all menorahs come in shrink wrap?
I guess it depends on where you buy them. But I was just saying, GC, this is the first ever Christmas tree that I can call my own.
Well, it's technically mine, but
yeah, it is.
No, just kidding. I mean, the mini ornaments, how great are those? The mini presents.
The mini presents are fantastic.
Ariel thinks it's fake snow, though, so
it's great.
It's gonna take
Everything about it is
we
great.
shipped it in straight from Montreal.
It's very cozy. Even the toys are a little closer to me, so that's nice. I feel very cozy. I feel like I should be wearing a toque.
That feels like a slight. The toys being closer.
No. I'm just saying. There's, I'm just going to be careful about not hitting things over. I love everything.
Wednesday we'll get a fire going.
Oh wow, that would be nice. You know what we should get? We should get a Yule log. Like you can get it on TV and it's just playing throughout.
Yeah. I think I might have that up my sleeve for Wednesday.
Wow. All right. Well, it's very cozy indoors. Hopefully you're safe and sound wherever you may be. Hopefully you're healthy and all good and getting ready to spend whatever holiday you may celebrate, even if it's no holidays. If you're able to spend some time with your family towards the end of the year, that's always something that people look forward to, and I hope that you are able to do that. We got a lot to discuss on today's show, as always. And as always, we are presented by our good friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Yes, they are the official sports betting partner of not only the UFC, but this program as well. We want you to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and use the code THEMMAHour for a special offer when you sign up. Again, that's code THEMMAHour only at DraftKings Sportsbook. So back into the show, we're going to be joined by Bruce Leroy. Yes, the OG himself. He's now a veteran, almost in his mid-30s, believe it or not. It feels like he's grown up in front of our eyes. Bruce Leroy is going to join us on the program. He had a big win this past weekend at the Apex. Looked fantastic. Of course, I'm talking about Alex Caceres. He looked really good in his fight and one of the more interesting characters in the game. So I look forward to that conversation. Prior to that, we're going to be joined by Gordon Ryan. Gordon Ryan may not be a household name to casual MMA fans, but if you're a combat fan, especially a MMA fan, you probably know, if you're like a little more than just a casual, like if you're Frank status, you probably know who Gordon Ryan is. He is, in many people's eyes, the best BJJ.
My mic is at the edge of the table, so not really.
Wow, what is going on there? What's happening with your mic, Eric? I'm just talking, and what's happening?
Who knows?
He just barged right in. I thought he was about to say something about Gordon Ryan.
Joe's having him frame up.
Okay, and you let him in?
Yeah.
Did the world hear that or just me?
Everybody heard that.
Wow.
It's like an audio issue.
Well, hi, Eric. How are you?
Hello.
Okay. Gordon Ryan. I thought he was actually going to take exception. Would you not say he's one of the best BJJ practitioners in the world, if not the best?
Oh, I didn't hear any of that. Yes, Gordon Ryan is absolutely one of those.
Okay, there you go. That's what I was talking about, and you chimed in, so I thought you were trying to correct me. We're on the same page. Prior to that, we're going to be joined by Jiří Procházka, the, I guess, now former light heavyweight champion. There's no light heavyweight champion, but I believe this is his first interview since the injury that knocked him out of 282, shoulder surgery, you know, all of that. And Drew Dober is also going to join us at 140 prior to Jiří. He had a nice win over Bobby Green. And truth be told, one of the comeback fighters of 2022, 3 finishes after losing both of his fights in 21, and all via stoppage. Well, finish, 3 wins, all via finish, all via stoppage. Very impressive. And on Saturday, tied Dustin Poirier for most knockouts at 155. Who would have thunk it? Drew Dober. How about that? So a lot to like there. And I'm looking forward to those conversations on this final Monday show of 2022. Let's talk to the guys here because we have a few things that we need to discuss. Of course, I'm still buzzing over the weekend. The weekend was one of the all-time greats in my personal life because on Saturday, the Parlay Pals extended their winning streak, so that was great.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, we did. We'll talk about that in a moment. Hello, gentlemen. Also, we had an all-time classic between the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, which yes, happy Hanukkah to you and yours, GC. Thank you.
Sliding it.
Is that a blue flame? I love it.
I love the way he's sliding it in there.
Blue and silver, blue and white.
Yep, first night, last night. Kids were very happy with their gifts.
What would they get?
Middle son got an Mbappe jersey, the gold one. Yeah,
that's a night
incredible.
One.
That's a night one. Yeah, it's all downhill from here.
Wow.
Wait, do you think we should have built up
We're
to
going
it?
reverse.
Do you think is that what you're supposed to do?
Is that not the natural? I've always got the best gifts.
Oh,
the final night.
Honestly, I didn't grow up with gifts. We didn't really do the gifts, so I didn't know.
Yeah,
I wanted to give it to him before the final so that he could wear it for the game.
That makes sense. But yeah, I've always built up to the best gift last.
Middle son got Mbappe. Older son got a Foden England jersey, the red one. Daughter got an England white one. And she was cool with it. I thought she'd be like, why are you giving me this? But she was down for the cause. So that was a lot of fun. And so Saturday, Bills Dolphins was incredible. Thank you, Mother Nature, for that. That was amazing. And then we saw, we saw one of the all-time great sporting events on Sunday morning. And I'm still kind of in awe of what I saw. Amazingly, New York Rick didn't watch. Did you watch?
You really weren't watching, Rick.
You know that's not true. There's text proof in our thread.
Have you changed your stance on the World Cup after seeing that?
What was my stance on the World Cup? Remind me.
I'm
not sure you actually know what my stance on the World Cup is.
Yeah, you and Dana White.
Are they ever going to score any goals?
Yeah,
please.
It's not that big.
Enlighten me. Look
at how big the net is. Why do they never score?
The Olympics are bigger.
No, it has not changed my stance. It is still just as hard as ever to get people to collectively watch something. I will say,
how many viewers do you think there were yesterday? They're claiming 4 billion.
Probably had this. Well, that's worldwide. I'm talking U.S., but also Yes, I bet this had very, very strong viewership, especially in the later stages as people are going crazy on Twitter about the equalizing goals from France. But no, my stance has not changed on that.
What were they saying? Like 2,800 tweets a second after Mbappe's second goal?
Is that what they were saying?
I believe so.
That's insane. It was incredible. It was truly one of the greatest sporting events that I've ever watched live. Definitely the greatest World Cup final that I've ever seen. I mean, I remember them as Italia 90 is my first recollection. West Germany winning. And then 94 is like the one I really remember with Roberto Baggio missing the penalty kick. Of course, I don't need to tell you guys about all of that.
Of course.
It was incredible.
Naturally.
It was a great year. Great year.
At the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. But it was amazing. And I tweeted top 5 greatest finals ever, like championship decide. I don't know how to. What's the word I'm looking for here?
Championship.
Deciding games.
Yeah.
Deciding games. Top 5, and I don't want to be a victim of the moment, but I kind of feel like it's number 1 when you consider the stakes, when you consider
strong argument,
when you consider the stakes, when you consider the Messi story, when you consider what this means for Argentina, when you consider how the game actually went down. Like, I don't know. Up until this point, I'll just say, and I want to get your thoughts on it. I used to think in terms of like deciding games, because of all those things, game back and forth, but then the stakes, what it meant. And you probably will agree. I used to think Game 7 2016 was.
I mean, that's
greatest.
like knee jerk.
Yeah.
3-1 comeback. Everything that was on the line. Absolutely unbelievable. Also, one thing about this game is that for 75 minutes of it, it was just a complete domination by Argentina.
Yeah, pretty much.
Up until that penalty, like it was so one-sided, and then the game just flipped on its head and once the penalty got called. And then it was just madness for the last 45 minutes all the way into PKs.
Wait, so do we agree that 2016 Game 7 NBA Finals, Cavs Warriors is the greatest of all time? And is this better?
That 2016 Cavs Warriors Finals was like edge of your seat the entire 48 minutes of that basketball game, and it just finished like the moments, the Kyrie 3, the LeBron block on Iguodala. Like, I also, the second one that I was going to say was 07 Super Bowl undefeated Patriots against the Giants.
Yeah. Similar in the regard that they were chasing history, right? Like the Cavs were down 3-1, so they were going to be the first team to come back from 3-1. The Golden State Warriors had the 73-9 season. Were they going to lose the 73-9 season? So there was that kind of stakes. I'm going to shock you here.
Oh,
that was number 1. I think this is bigger. I think this was a more significant one. And
I would have understood.
Exactly why.
I would have understood if you would have gone with the Cavs because, of course,
for my personal. Like, there's no doubt. Nothing will top 2016. That title I'll be able to coast on that forever as a Cavs fan. Don't care if they win another one.
Because it's personal.
That was the best. Because it was so personal. This one was better because at the end of that Game 7, the tension was all built by how inept both teams were. They were both kind of not doing enough. They were both kind of like looking lackluster. And it was like, who's going to break this and finally break through and score? In this one, what you got was the two of the best, I'm not going to say the 2 best, but 2 of the best players playing at the highest possible level you can play right now. Just playing at a level that is like unmatched right now and rising to the moment and achieving that throughout the game. So to me, and because of the global audience, because of the stakes, because of this being a global tournament, to me, this is probably number 1. This is probably number 1.
GC?
I don't know. It feels like there is recency bias. I mean, it was an unbelievable game. I was going so crazy throughout the last quarter of it, but I don't know. I don't know if I can say definitively.
The final third?
Top 5, I can agree with you. Yeah, final third. Nice call.
No doubt.
Top
no
5,
doubt,
I
top
can agree
5.
with you.
It's hard. It's hard for me to compare basically like a club championship, as much as it meant to the city of Cleveland, to something that means so much to an entire country, right? That happens once every 4 years. Those people are from that country. I know LeBron was from Ohio, but the rest of them essentially weren't. Those people are from that country. Plus, sprinkle on top what this means for Messi, arguably one of the greatest ever, if not the great. Like, there's just a lot there. And
there is a lot there. I guess I'm thinking more in terms of like game, which was obviously insane. It was unbelievable. I guess, if you're looking at the scope of like the magnitude of it, then
everything combined. And I get what you're saying. I mean, first half was magic. There was maybe like a little bit of a lull. First, I don't know, 20 minutes of the second half where there wasn't a ton going on. But I mean, it's hard to have a game.
I mean, the first 20, 22 minutes of that second half, it felt like Argentina was just going to get it done.
Just chilling, yeah. They were just chilling. So that's the one thing you could say about it, that is like, all right, that wasn't, optimum entertainment.
That may have made it better, though, because it felt like France was down and out, and then the penalty ignites them, and then you're like, oh, you kind of perk up, and then within 90 seconds, Mbappe scores again. Like,
that was incredible.
It crescendoed at the perfect point. It reached
I think that may have helped
its
it.
Pinnacle
Actually.
at the perfect point. It was incredible.
I felt like the deserving team won. I hate the fact that it ended on PKs, but I'm happy for Argentina. Not that I was rooting against. I was like, it just kind of felt like, France had their championship 4 years ago. They won it 4 years ago. And could you imagine, like, this is storybook stuff. This is Hollywood stuff for Messi to go out this way. It was really emotional to watch. It was exhausting. And then I love how they're like, okay, this is one of the all-time greatest sporting events ever. This is incredible. You see one of the greatest athletes of all time. And now we go to Jags Cowboys.
We're
13.
live in Jacksonville.
Like, oh my God.
And it took them like a few minutes to even mention the World Cup too.
Oh my God.
Like Dak Prescott coming in off of 2 straight wins. Like, it was just like,
I bet there are people who were mad.
Oh yeah.
I bet there are people who were mad.
I went to FS1. I didn't watch any NFL football for the first like 30 minutes.
How could you?
You couldn't. Like, it was just, I was so hungry for more of the World Cup coverage. That's how good it was. Like, it's crazy that our biggest sport, the NFL, felt like such a full NFL slate felt like such a letdown after how great that game was.
Are we missing one? Are we missing one?
Somebody's gonna.
I bet we are.
Somebody's gonna have to correct either one of us. I'm not sure which. But you said for Messi to go out. I think he mentioned after that he still continues to be involved in the national team. So I don't even think
he says now. But we all thought going in. We all thought going in, right? He cleared it up after. Said he says he wants to have the crest where it says defending champs or whatever, having the 3 stars. Yeah, which makes all the sense. Why the hell? What do you hang him up? He looks fantastic. Yeah,
maybe he's got another Copa America in him.
Yes. But thinking about that being, the last stance for him, so to speak, good shout here from Shaheen, proud Arizona native, 2001 Game 7 D-backs Yankees, was pretty incredible too. Although in that one, that was incredible. And it was an incredible World Series and it was a very emotional one. It felt to me like that one was, how should I put this? It felt to me like the only time that the vast majority of America was cheering for the Yankees because it was on the heels of 9/11. And it felt like one of the only times where the Yankees were kind of the darlings. They'll never be the darlings, and they were never viewed as the darlings. But in that one World Series, and then they lost, and you were kind of like even I was rooting for the Yankees. And usually I would always root for the D-backs in that case, right? Like the newish team, kind of new kids on the block, even though they were a bunch of older guys. But yes, that was but again, you can't compare Game 7 of the World Series to World Cup ending like that. It was just too magical.
It's almost impossible to match the magnitude of the World Cup final. Like
stress.
The global stage.
Yeah. As big as it gets. It doesn't get any bigger than that. And for them to perform like that. And the best part about it, me and my roommate were saying this, that it's like the stars were the ones showing out. It was essentially Messi versus Mbappe. Mbappe gets the hat trick. Messi gets the 2 goals. It was just unbelievable. You kept saying it, theater. Like it was incredible. We're not deserving of this theater. Like it was literal theater. I was hiding behind my couch when Mbappe was taking what would be his 3rd goal, the penalty in extra time to tie it up to send it to PKs. I was so nervous. I can't even imagine how he continues to perform like that. It was so crazy.
It had to be them. It had to be those two going toe to toe.
I got tagged in a couple. It had to be.
They even used it a couple of times. Oh, it had to be him. It just had to be him. No, it was incredible. I hope everyone watched it. Frank, did you watch it?
No.
You're kidding.
You're serious?
I was sick during the weekend.
That's perfect excuse to watch it.
So I woke up after the game.
What time did you wake up?
I don't know, like 1.
Golly. You might be one of 10 people on planet Earth that has no.
Let's ask Rick about that. Yeah.
Do we think over 50% of the world's population was watching that live?
Fuck, that's a big. No. I mean, that's a tough.
Come
one.
on.
What do we think?
30%?
No.
30%? You don't give it 30%?
I don't know, but definitely not 50%.
The first number that came to mind was 25.
25%?
Yeah.
I bet it's 25%.
That's probably
2
closer.
Billy? I bet 2 Billy were watching.
One of those 75% was
to
Frank Mysterio.
Yeah.
Yep.
But amazingly, Frank, and I just, by the way, shout out to Argentina. I was so nervous watching Bills Dolphins on Saturday. I can't imagine being a fan of that team or one of those teams watching, your country go for a championship one every 4 years as big as the World Cup. So shout out to everyone, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Frank, you did watch the UFC on Saturday, though, right?
Oh,
yes?
Of course, yeah.
And I forgot to mention KSW. I'm sure you watched that too.
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
GC ordered KSW.
Oh, yeah. I am a proud KSW pay-per-view purchaser.
Amazing.
$10. Great. I mean, Rick said it. Like, it's just nothing but fun with KSW. That's my third full KSW card that I've watched, and every time I've watched it, it's just been a ton of fun the entire time.
Mamed Khalidov lost to Mariusz Pudzianowski. Felt like he was biting off.
No.
Sorry, beat Mariusz Pudzianowski. Sorry. Felt like Puj was, kind of biting off a little more than he could do, despite the size discrepancy.
I tried my best to tell GC, like,
Yeah.
he's in there with a real dude, no matter the size difference.
Did you bet on Mariusz?
No, I just hope fight doesn't go to a decision, which we said yesterday was a beautiful parlay piece. It was. I mean, there was no world where that was ever going.
Was that plus or minus?
Oh, it was big minus. It was like minus 450, but
wow,
it was just never going the distance.
Yeah, that's definitely a bucket list thing for me.
I think it's growing on me. Like, to be just like out in Poland at one of those shows, everyone going crazy. Like, the championship ones where they bring the screen down and raise it up and like the belt is everywhere and like it's just so like it's so much fanfare. Like, instead of the ring girls walking around the ring, they like they get put up on a stage and they have the flag. Like,
oh, it's amazing.
It's crazy.
They invited me and they said they would did I mention this on the show? They said that they would let me hand them like a trophy or something. They're like, you could be in the cage if you want to come.
I mean, the trophies are cool. That would be incredible.
I mean, highly inappropriate for me to do that.
You
but
walk in there.
Yeah.
The guy that makes the announcement too, he rocks
he's a
like
man.
an old school mic with the stand connected
tremendous.
to it. Is incredible.
It's very 1984 Madison Square Garden where it comes down and is like, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's great. If you've never seen a KSW show, you're missing out. And then to go from that scene and that atmosphere to the apex once again, it's just I'm sorry.
Just keeps ramping up.
I'm sorry
Just
for
keeps
beating
ramping up.
beating up on a dead horse here, but like, geez Louise, I don't know. And then I see people justifying it, like, oh, I hear the corner. What corner do you hear? First of all, when we're at MSG, I still hear Alex Pereira's corner hyping him up. Well, you need the corner in between, like in the actual like action. You need to hear them then. What corner are you hearing in this fight that you don't hear in other fights? Oh, I hear the blows.
But
I hear the kicks more. You don't know that those kicks hurt?
That's Rick. Rick likes
how
hearing
much
the
does
blows.
it change your TV experience? I don't care one way or the other.
Dramatically.
Yes, it seriously changes it. At one point,
it's
after
the
watching
same
KSW, going to Apex, like I had to check my TV. I thought it was muted. And then Dominic Cruz was just like, oh man, it's quiet in here, huh? Because it was just dead silent. There was not one noise. Yeah, like there was literally not one noise being made. And like the announcers had to break the silence. Is it fine, Rick?
It's not fine.
I disagree, dude.
It's fine.
No.
You take
fine.
that over a full arena.
No, I'm not saying I prefer it. No doubt. Give me the full arena. But if it's not a big enough deal for me to be talking about it every time. Like, who cares? I don't care.
No, I'm not joking. It actually depresses me. Like, I feel sad. I feel sad watching
You're
it.
a fighter.
Sad, yeah.
If you're a fighter and you're like, I want to fight in front of a crowd, great. Understand. Get it. I'm bored. I'm with you. If you're talking about a TV product, it's like 5% different, if that.
Jared Cannonier in July fought in front of 20,000 people for a belt. On Saturday, he fought in front of maybe 200 people against the 7th ranked middleweight. Like, that's just.
I mean, if you wanted to
5
hear
months
20,000 boos, that's what you would have got on that one. You definitely would have heard something from 20,000 people in the arena for that one.
Imagine that Bobby Green fight in front of a crowd, though. They would have been going bonkers.
That would have been fun. Yeah, it would have been fine. 5% better.
I just can't. There's something about it that is lacking. I don't mean to go on and on about this, but I mean, you nailed it. Jared Cannonier went from 18,000, 19,000, 20,000 to, no, there was a point where Paul Felder said something to Alex Caceres about like, he said something in the post-fight interview, like, you're very zen, and someone in the crowd thought he was joking, and he like he's like, no, I'm being serious. Like, he's talking to the crowd, like the crowd is reacting, and he's having a conversation. It's like they're at like a nightclub, doing some comedy, and there's 4 people there, and you're like, no, that's not what I meant.
What fighter told the crowd to shut up one time? He said something like it was like a questionable decision, and someone was heckling the fighter, and like in the middle of the post-fight interview, he was like, yo, shut up. Who was it? I can't remember. But it happened at the Apex.
I feel like that's happened a few times.
Like you should not be getting heckled by fans
especially the ones they're paying top dollar for those. They're paying top dollars for those
they
tickets.
should be allowed to heckle. I like it.
How'd you guys score the main event?
I don't know.
48-47 Cannonier.
I thought it was 48-47 either way. It was so close.
I had a 2-2, and then Jared took the last round. That was how I scored it.
I thought Jared won. I don't have the strength to get into the whole 49-46 on opposite sides. I just don't. I don't.
It just felt weird. Like most people were defending it, but it was like this feels weird that they had complete opposite scorecards.
Can I say, revert to my point from last week? If there are people defending 49-46 on opposite sides, the criteria is broken. Yes, like
that's kind of my point.
If that is correct, if we are saying it is okay for 49-46 either way, then that does not work. Then that
Judges that are supposed to have the same criteria had exact opposite scorecards.
It's broken.
And then the third one was different too. The third one, he got the 49-46 as well, but he got there he took a different route to get there.
And it's not like they're watching it from dramatically different vantage points.
No.
Right?
No, I mean, I will say I have seen a huge difference from scoring in an arena versus not in an arena, right?
Yeah, but all three of those guys are in the arena.
I'm not saying that those three should have different scorecards, but I am saying it is different in the arena versus scoring on TV.
1,000%.
That's what I will say.
1,000%. I will also say that, and I don't know if anyone out there has done the research on this. I wonder if they get them more right. They're more accurate at the Apex because there's less, what was the thing that we said about Gordon and Patty was, they were swayed by the crowd. John McCarthy himself said that they were swayed. Here, there's really no crowd, right? And so I wonder if there's less of that. I don't know. Like, I don't know how many quote-unquote robberies there have been at the Apex as opposed to not at the Apex. But by the way, if I'm Dricus Duplessis, we were talking like, should he call out that guy? Like, I'll take that fight.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Right?
I mean, also, like, I also don't think that main event was a robbery, like, in any way. I thought the scorecards were just kind of weird.
Oh, there's a really big difference.
Yeah.
Like,
not a robbery.
I very, very, very rarely use the word robbery. I think Gordon Pimblett was a robbery. This was not a robbery. This was just a close fight.
Close. Yeah, it was just a close fight, and the scorecards were all
when the scorecards are all over the map, that's not a robbery. When, as we saw last week, it's 99% in favor of one guy and the other guy loses, and that guy loses, that to me is a robbery. I didn't think that, this was a robbery. Was there anything that stood out from this card that we liked? Drew Dober looked good.
And that chin on Drew Dober is just... Yeah, the Alex Caceres, the way that he switched to that kick was like mind-boggling.
Dober has looked good this year, but
Dober.
It was just Dober, right? 3 wins.
It's Dober. I mean, nobody. Rarely. I think Dustin Poirier. Off the top of my head, I'm not 100%. Nobody takes out Bobby Green like that. That was sick. And to take the shots that he was taking from Bobby Green too. Yeah. I mean, his chin is legendary. We don't need to do too long on that.
It's
Everybody
legendary.
knows, but
it's legendary.
He's the man. He's the man.
3 wins in a row. 3 finishes in 2022.
Finish. I mean, the way that he got through Terrence McKinney to survive that onslaught in the beginning and come back, like the chin is crazy. I mean, it was lower on the prelims, but Renat Fakhretdinov, I mean, the guy has like over 27 minutes of control time through his first 2 fights. Like, he is a relentless grappler. I thought that was pretty interesting as well. I
was leaning towards Jake Matthews. Thankfully, I didn't go that direction.
Let's go.
I think me and GC were both a little like
we were a little,
I couldn't 100% tell, but I think I could tell from the vibes that we were both a little bit less.
I'm not gonna lie. I was giving a slight shove to Sergey. I felt pretty good about Sergey.
Yeah, he's just been a little bit unpredictable, Matthews, and he ended up losing to Semelsberger. And so the Parlay Pals roll on, and I saw Frank saying that he's the one that's benefiting the most from the Parlay Pals' success as of late without him. How do you justify that, Frank?
Just raking in the money.
So you don't have to put up... Well, no,
you continue to take these? I only saw the first slip.
Oh, I didn't realize I had to show you guys the slip every time.
Can we backdate those? I mean, can you show us what you got?
I mean, if you insist, sure. Just feels a little weird. You can't just take my word for it.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
I take your word for it, Frank.
So is this 3 in a row or 4 in a row?
This will be 3 in a row.
And so ever since we dropped the excess baggage, we've gone 3 straight.
Okay,
No,
let me say something out of the interest. Let me say something.
Referring to Frank as excess baggage.
Let me say something in the interest of fairness,
Please.
And I've said it. I've said it almost literally every week we do Parlay Pals. The difference between picking 3 and picking 4 is astronomical.
Monumental.
It is astronomically harder. So it might not be that Frank was necessarily bad at this. I'll let
Wait,
the
is
viewers
that the
out there
reason I was
decide whether-
asked off? I thought I retired.
I was gonna say you weren't
Yeah.
asked off. You quit. You retired
You
from
quit.
the Parlay
But you guys
Pals.
act like this was a strategic decision that you've made on your behalf.
Well,
I'm trying to defend
Rick, I
you here, Frank.
appreciate
You know
you.
what? Forget that.
You know
what? I'm done.
It was so quick for you to
Thank
turn around. It wasn't genuine.
it is working. It is working
No.
out for us.
Well,
But
Frank,
3 versus 4 is very.
Do you want back
Miss
in?
Mysterious is happy. I'm happy. Yeah, I want back in, but the money's just coming in. Like I don't know. Like,
We cannot let him back in.
when
until
you
we-
guys
No,
lose,
not-
I'm gonna have to make a real decision about
Yes, well, we have to stick to our guns. We have to stick to our guns
right.
here.
I mean, I'm already eyeing the
For Frank's
first
sake.
UFC event of the year.
so this is
Couple
going to
nice
last a
pieces on
long
there.
time because first UFC event is what, January 14th or something like that?
Yeah, so at earliest he'll be back for UFC Rio, which like at that point it's getting to be
That's
like
a 2 month.
months.
Yeah. Oh my
I'm
God.
sure there's some WWE or something going on, right?
Oh yeah,
No.
Royal Rumble. We got to get ready.
Well, have we decided if
No,
we're doing?
I veto.
Wait,
No.
No, we're not parlay palling Royal Rumble, but
no. Bellator Ryzen.
I don't know. There's
Rising,
only
yeah.
5 fights.
Already
No,
got my
there's
tickets.
more than
no, there's-
5 fights. There's
Oh,
more
There's
than
more
5
than
fights.
5
Sorry,
fights, but
sorry.
who knows? I think it depends on the lines. Like, who knows where those
I
lines
say
are going to
no.
be?
I say no.
Why do you say no?
Wow.
You just want to break?
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Oh, so we could take breaks.
I support this.
Give
Give
us
Frank. He didn't
Frank, you want
announce
to
his
take you want
retirement.
to take the picks over for 2022, Frank? You do the bets every week, man.
the guy wants a vacation. All right. Give us the rundown here. Give us the recap. GC. How did we do? How did you do?
Let's check the parlay pals first, just so
All right.
we can
Just
see
for the
it.
record. Yeah, there we are.
9 wins, 11 losses, plus 112. In the green now, plus 1.88 units. We're starting to feel a little more
Inching
cozy in
back
the
to
green here.
500.
Inching back, get a couple more under our belt. I mean, we could be leaving UFC Rio above at 500, 11 and 11, and Frank would still be on the side.
Screen
Wow.
does look a little empty, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. It does feel a little less vibrant without you in there. Myself, just a quick recap. Did all right. Went 6-5 on the singles, 3-2 on the parlays. Really felt good about that Cannonier KO Strickland decision. Did not hit. Ismagulov got mauled by Sarukian. Obviously, Julian Erosa with the head kick loss to Alex Caceres. Decent on the parlays.
Wait, can we
and-
go back to that one?
Which one?
So you did the KO TKO or decision, right?
Yeah,
So that
and-
sucks that didn't work out.
Yeah,
but-
Cannonier won by decision. So it did not work out.
Was that the equivalent of the I'm sorry, man?
I think that was.
No, I just think it was a
felt
cool
like-
bet. I didn't want him to gloss
Oh,
over
okay.
it.
all right.
Yeah, it was a cool bet. I wish it had worked out for
Wow,
me.
everything is just a dunk. Wow.
So yeah, at the end of the day, it was essentially a middle of the road week. Nothing happened. Finish up 0.22 units. 63 on the year. I am going to do picks for Bellator Ryzen, so we're not done yet.
Oh, you are? I thought you just said you're not.
I'm talking parlay pals.
Oh.
I feel like we
He
let it
doesn't
breathe.
want to
I'm
stress
betting
him.
on Bellator Ryzen. Don't
Oh
worry
my
about
God. I thought you wanted a break
He's basically
Oh,
saying
no.
that he wants a break from you guys.
from us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're basically saying you need a little like time off.
Yeah, I want to kick my feet up, just enjoy the 3 straight wins going into the holidays.
Hey, GC, how about a little GCMF Bellator parlay?
Wow.
Wow, we're doing side hustle.
Just saying.
I mean, if we really want to do it, we can do it.
That's what I wanted to hear.
We can absolutely do that. Shout out to the DraftKings Piezo.
Oh.
Big win for him. And then, just real quickly, not the greatest week for the big hitters, but, we still got to recap and go over them real quick.
All right. Yeah. Oh yeah. I thought maybe we'd get a holiday version of this.
I just made it time. All right, we start. Tajik Bey, he was on here a few weeks ago. He has done it again. Hits an 8-pick parlay plus 47,421, $25 to win. 11,880. I just don't know what I'd do with myself if I hit that. He also hit 3 more parlays. The profits total up to like $34,000 worth of wins, all off of UFC Vegas 66. I mean, absolutely unbelievable stuff. Not much else to say. I mean, just absolutely incredible. Next up, That Kid MMA plus 14,646. He goes 15 legs. 2 of them got voided, though. The Shavkat fight got moved, and Magomed ended in a draw. But he still turns $10 into $1,464. I mean, this is across PFL. This is a month-long parlay. It goes PFL, the Pavlovich fight, Shabazian's in there. 282, he's got Taporia, Dricus Duplessis in there. And then Sarukian finishing it off this week. Incredible stuff from him. Josh Hediger, he hits 3 parlays, 30 plus 3,200 plus 1,900 plus 2,100. I mean, that's a good day at the office in my book. And then wasn't the greatest week for MMA big hitters. This is an MMA bettor, but he did it on an NFL bet, Magic M MMA. We've featured him before. I don't even know how many legs this is, but he starts with the Vikings. It ends with the Chargers. He had the Raiders with that crazy finish in there. And he goes plus 48,064. He turns €100 into 48,000. I mean, the way that Raiders game ended, I just can't even imagine how I'd be acting. I probably wouldn't be at work today if that was me, but...
John Jones's brother.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like,
Chandler Jones.
Didn't you know that he had like 19 sacks last season? That's not just John Jones. I'm like, yes, I know who Chandler Jones is, all right?
Yes.
Gosh, Syracuse, all right? What are you talking about?
There it is. There's the MMA tie-in. But shout out to him. €100 into 48,000. That's life-changing stuff right there. And that's it. Not the biggest week for the big hitters, but still, people did not fail to cash in. So shout out.
What about that one parlay that I saw? The guy had,
Oh,
what was it? And he
it
cashed
ended
out or
with France,
something?
Yeah. I mean, smart
He
play
had like
by him to
7
cash out.
What was it?
He had like 7 different championship winners from different sports.
Yeah, it was like...
including. Go ahead, GC.
It was like Kansas, Warriors. He had the World Series winner. He had 7 different ones, yeah. And it ended with France winning the World Cup. And it was 25 into like 580,000. And he cashed out for 253,000 before the match.
Which ended up being the right call.
Oh, very right call.
Right call.
Wow.
What a
Beautiful.
segment.
Beautiful.
I can't believe it even rode to that point. I mean, that's incredible. The
I know,
fact
like
that it got to the 6 and he didn't cash it out.
Would you have cashed out, GC?
Oh my gosh, I probably would have cashed out well before him. FanDuel was calling him after each France match, offering a new cash out. Like at one point it was like 25,000, then it was like 60,000, and then I want to say going into the quarters it was like 84,000. I would have had a hard, because if you're betting $25, like you likely don't have enough money laying around to hedge. So like I would have had a hard time not cashing that out.
Wow.
Yep.
Congrats to that guy. What was that you said, Frank? Yeah. What a great
I said,
segment.
what a segment. Yeah.
What does that mean?
I just was really enjoying it. It's really riveting.
Is this your nudge to get me to read the ads?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's a nudge to get you to read the ads.
All right, guys. Great stuff. Thank you very much. One day I want Frank to read the ad. Would you do that?
Absolutely.
Well, you just heard how GC did this past weekend. Here's a quick nod to our good friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. They are the place to go when betting on the NFL this holiday season. How about them Buffalo Bills, huh, Frankie?
Yeah, man. What a game.
By the way, could we address the group chat for a second? I mean, we are really...
3 periods.
It's just... I was going to write something about the periods. I was going to say, if you ever write the 3 periods... Here's the thing.
The ellipses.
We are legitimately texting 85 times between us. You don't say a word. You pop up when Josh Allen fumbles the ball and it's looking very dire. Why do you do this?
You guys didn't even talk during this game.
Why do you not contribute in the group chat and then just pop up when it's a negative moment? That's
Can I
what
be real
wanna know.
honest?
Yeah.
I have the notifications turned off.
You have.
We've known that, dude. We've known that for a long time.
Sometimes I'm catching up after the fact.
Wait, is it just for our chat or for all texts you have notifications off? You've
So-
silenced us.
I silenced you. I silenced my parents.
Wow.
Just people that I want to pick and choose when I want to be
Should we
involved.
Should we just kick him out of the chat as well?
So maybe. I mean,
No,
there's
I
nothing
do
better-
read it. I read all of them.
We're like into
and now
it.
I can't respond retroactively.
And he just pops up with either a sunglasses emoji or an ellipses.
I mean,
That's
there's
it.
nothing better than like, the conversation has died down for like an hour or two, and then you get Frank liking a message that's like 84 messages up, and it's
Yeah.
just a thumbs up reaction.
It's so disappointing. Anyway, back to the ad read. May I suggest the Buffalo Bills, who are playing the Bears this weekend. Anyway, new customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. Plus, everyone can earn up to 100% boost with DraftKings stepped up same game parlays. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code THEMMAHour. And that's very important because that lets them know we sent you. Place a $5 bet on any NFL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. That's code THEMMAHour only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Buckle up for this one, Frankie. 21 and older in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Bonus issued as free bets. One boost per eligible game. Opt-in required. 10 plus leg required for 100% boost. Deposit parlay and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility at terms. Over at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. So I have time for one more here.
Let's do it.
All right. Drew Dober about to join us in a moment, the aforementioned, so stay tuned for that. Still to come, Jiří Procházka, Gordon Ryan as well. We love Whoop. They're our new friends, and we appreciate them very, very much. Of course, Whoop is the 24/7 personalized fitness and health coach. Whoop is a sleek, screenless fitness wearable that tracks your sleep and daily activity, creating a detailed breakdown of what's going on with your fitness and your health. That's very important. Lots of professional fighters are using Whoop right now to track their workouts, and I have been using one too. So has GC. GC, how you feeling? How you looking?
I'm feeling great, man. I feel trim. It's, tracking my workouts, tracking my sleep. I'm well rested.
You're losing weight as a result.
Oh, it's great.
And his attitude has just been on the up and up.
You gotta love it. Anyway, you can experience all of that and more. And you can try Whoop for yourself by going to whoop.com. That's WHOOP.com. That's whoop.com. Use the code MMA for 10% off today. Again, that's code MMA for 10% off today. Do we have Drew? Or has he not called in? All right. Please support them, by the way, because they support us. Now, we spoke at the top about one of the stars of this weekend at the Apex for the UFC. Drew Dober, certainly at the very, 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 very top of that list. Top of the, most improved fighter of the year award, comeback fighter of the year, a whole bunch of things. Let's talk to Drew Dober about all that and more. He joins us now via the magic of Zoom. Hello, Drew. How are you?
Good. How are you feeling?
I'm doing great. Congrats, man. What a year for you. Way to stamp it. 3 wins, 3 finishes. Considering how 2021 went, like if we would have talked this time last year, considering how 21 went, would you have believed me that you'd be able to bounce back like this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in my career, I'm notorious for bouncing back from failures or bad performances. I mean, I fought Islam Makhachev, and as we know now, it's one of the best guys in the lightweight division. The only really loss that I feel bad about is the Brad Riddell. I think, I kind of gave that to him. But I definitely know what I'm capable of, and I'm showcasing it.
Confidence probably a lot higher right now than it was this time last year, right? Or did the confidence not even waver?
It didn't waver. I know what I'm capable of. Now it's just making sure it comes out on the right days.
Wow. All right. Well, good for you. What a performance. By the way, like Bobby Green, tough dude, especially tough, when you're talking about like outstriking him and knocking him out. Was that how you expected the fight to go? And I know the first round was a little tough. You're wearing some of that a little bit, but to do that to Bobby Green is supremely impressive.
I mean, for the fight to finish the way it did is surprising, and it's kind of surreal. I looked up to Bobby Green, and I know how talented he is. Definitely hard to hit, definitely even harder to knock out. And so I'm very happy with that win. But the first round happened as I expected it. And he is super hard to hit, and he's really fast. And man, the trash talking and the way he moves his head, man, he's definitely a unique specimen to deal with.
What was he saying to you in there?
Everything from that punch missed to nah, that didn't hurt. That hit my elbow. You got nothing. Oh, and my favorite part was when I tried to talk back to him and he told me to shut up and then hit me with a 2-piece. Like that was incredible. So man, props to him.
So he's just basically saying like, I'm the one doing the talking in here. You keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, I made put forth my best effort to reciprocate, and no, man, he shut that up real quick.
What'd you say to him?
I don't even remember what I was trying to, like, I'm not much of a talker. I'm more of an actions type of person, but man, I just kind of just drawed out some entertainment out of me. I wanted to give it a shot, and man, it just didn't come out well.
Amazing.
I feel like me trying to like trash talk is like giving your 10-year-old permission to cuss.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't come out fluidly. So I was like, yeah, I need to dismiss that idea.
And you guys are all good, right? Like afterwards, I saw, you know, like it wasn't coming from a malicious place.
No, man, like Bobby and I have been cool with each other for the longest time, and we've known that this fight was going to happen eventually, and so we've talked about, you know, scheduling and seeing when they can work. Man, we've been very excited to fight each other, and man, it was a blessing to have it, you know, this year.
You tied Dustin Poirier's record for most finishes at 55, right? Well, knockouts at 55. Did you know that going into the fight? Did you know that you were one away from him?
Yeah, I know that statistic. I think they told me at the beginning of the year,
okay,
where I fell. You know, it's not anything that I'm really chasing for, but it's pretty cool to be, you know, part of a record with Dustin Poirier.
That's incredible. At this point, you might as well try to snatch it, right?
I mean, I'm going for it. I mean, ideally, like let's be honest, I'm trying to fight the caliber of guys in which Dustin Poirier has knocked out. You know, so like I'd much rather, you know, put a KO of Conor McGregor on my record than, you know, an up and comer.
Well, that's a huge nod to you, a huge feather in your cap, and you're about to become a dad. You've announced this, Daddy Dober. But I heard that you said you're trying to get one in before you become a dad. You're going to become a dad in June, I believe, right? Do you feel though any different now, knowing that you're about to become a dad? Do you feel like you're fighting for a little more motivation, all that stuff?
Yeah, the motivation is definitely there. Just putting food on that table for more than just me. So it's just that enthusiasm. So now I got to use that enthusiasm, motivation, and try to use it productively. And you know, where is this going to go? And you know, definitely wakes me up in the morning. It forces me to do that extra round, that extra minute, you know, and all that stuff. And man, and I'm excited for this daddy strength to show up when the baby does.
Boy or girl you're expecting?
So we got the gender reveal coming up in 2 weeks. So me and my family get to find out all together, and I'm sure I'm going to have a video of it for social media. So as of right now, I have no idea.
Okay. And how are you going to reveal the gender? Are you doing like the cake, the gun thingy? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, I think my wife chose like the box idea. Yeah, she was bringing out these ideas like, so why don't we like punch something and then the smoke will come out and this and that. I was like, no, I'm not going to punch anything near you at all. Like I'm off the clock. And
yes.
So we're going to do the box and the balloons are going to come out. And so it's going to be pretty exciting.
That's awesome. Good luck to you guys. I hope she's feeling, you know, okay and hanging in there. I know it could be tough, right? Is she doing all right?
No, she's fantastic. She's a champ.
Okay.
I mean, like my toughness doesn't even compare to hers. So yeah, she's a gangster. And I know what I married. She's a boss.
So, all right. So you're on this roll here. Like I said, I don't know, comeback fighter, most improved fighter. What would you, like, if you were giving yourself an award for 2022, what would you say? Because going 3-0 after, you know, going winless in 21 is a huge turnaround for you. What would you say? What would you give yourself?
Most improved, most durable,
do you feel like you've improved a lot?
Most entertaining is the one I like.
Okay.
I like the most entertaining.
Do you feel like you've improved a lot, or is it just based on like matchups and like, do you feel like you have
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. You know, the 2021 losses between Islam and Brad Riddell have taught me a ton. And, you know, that's the beautiful thing, I think, with my career is just being able to take these losses and these failures and then doing something with it and then showcasing it in the next one. So I'm constantly learning, constantly growing. And man, that Brad Riddell fight really taught me a ton. And I think I showcased that this year.
What did it teach you?
Man, I went into that fight like the moment I had that contract in my hand was like, I'm gonna win by knockout. Like I got this, right? And so I went into that fight with this idea that I'm just gonna knock Brad out. And I found his chin in the first round, and it kind of just my mind got stuck on it. So I stopped setups, I stopped creativity, I stopped variety. I stopped all this stuff, and dude, I was just this tunnel vision and just throwing bombs, head hunting, and and Brad was able to, with his finesse and his ability to outmaneuver and outpoint me to win the decision, and it all just came from this tunnel vision that I had. So I had to like pull it back and go, man, why were we doing this? We're here to have fun, right? And like I just love martial arts. So my spinny kicks, my spinning back fist, my body shot to Rafael Alves, this is all just me being creative and having fun. And that's how I find my knockouts. So we just stopped headhunting.
I heard you say something after the fight on Saturday that I thought was really interesting. You were asked about, when you have some kind of animosity with your opponent as opposed to if you're friendly with them like Bobby Green. And you said that when you have animosity, you're so afraid to lose to that person because you don't like them. And you fight with the mindset of like, oh, I don't want to lose, so I'm not going to open up. I'm not going to have fun. I'm not going to try creative things, as opposed to when you respect someone and like them, like Bobby Green, you don't mind losing to them as much. So then you're going to open up and you're going to have a better performance and a more fun, entertaining performance. I've never heard someone really break it down like that, but it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that's why you see like the guys like Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal, and they just stand in front of each other, and neither one of them wants to go. But then you get guys that like are extremely cool with each other, Stephen Thompson and Kevin Holland,
right?
And they just go nuts. And so like I love when like fighters respect each other and like enjoy the performance.
Now let me ask you: last fight was in Dallas, pretty great crowd, right? American Airlines. Then you go to the Apex. What was that like? I mean, it's got to be different, right? It's not the same.
Yeah, it's dumbed down for sure. Especially since I draw a lot of energy from the crowd. Man, so when we're at the Apex, I had to like find it, right? And so like I had to like find the people cheering. I had to find, it's like I had to simulate it in my head because man, I'm an entertainer and I'm doing this because I love performing martial arts in front of, the millions. And I couldn't see you guys at the Apex, but I sure was thinking about it. And then, yeah, so the next one needs to be in front of an audience.
Would you prefer not to be at the Apex anymore? Obviously, you're going to take what you can get. You want to get paid. It's your job. But if it was up to you, would you prefer to be in those arenas with all the people?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it 100%. And I hated the green room when they initiated that, where they just shove you away from the audience, man. I loved being around the energy the entire time. And, I think of those 15 minutes to an hour for my entire life. And so when I'm in it, like I want to be with it.
Where do you miss it most? Like in the walkout or in the fight? Because I feel like in the fight, you don't really, correct me if I'm wrong, you're so focused that you're not really paying attention to all that. But I feel like in the walkout is where you can really get amped and excited for the fight. Am I right about that or wrong?
I mean, you're right about it. There's not any one point that's like,
okay,
like it's all of it. As soon as you arrive at the arena and then you feel the vibration and then the locker room, like you can kind of hear it, but it's like a hum. And then that walkout is just tremendous. And then in the fight, like you can hear it, you can feel it, the applause, the boos, the all that stuff. And like, I love every single, like before I was in the UFC, I was notorious for just sitting in the crowd for my fights.
Wow.
Right now, just wait to get my hands taped because I just love the environment, the music, the lights, the voices, the sweat, like just the entirety of fighting. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I love sitting in the audience the days of my fight. Well, can no longer do that, but I sure wish there was more audience.
Why can't you do that?
I know. I assume that Brazil's rowdiness kind of ruined it for the athletes. They kind of like shove you away from the crowd, so that way they protect the athletes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea the reasons why, but yeah.
Okay.
And the Apex is all of 20 people there.
Right. Afterwards, loved the Jalen Turner call out, and it seems like he's interested based on his tweets. Did you see his tweets? It was hard to decipher. I saw a couple of GIFs, but it sounded like he was down, right? Am I right about that?
I saw it, but everyone's down on Twitter.
Right.
Everyone's like, everyone wants to be a fighter until it's time to be a fighter. And so, man, like, who knows? Like, I think Jalen Turner was a good call out, but like, I'm trying to fight Michael Chandler and Fiziev. Like, I'm here for the bangers. I'm here for the most entertaining fights. And actually, you know, what's like, who would you like to see me fight?
Well, I love the Jalen Turner one, to be honest, but now I'm actually thinking that you don't want the Jalen. Like, now I feel like you want an even bigger name or a higher rank guy than Jalen Turner. That's what it sounds like. No? Yeah.
I mean, if you ask me honestly, like, who do I want to fight? It's like Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev, like the best in the world.
Right.
Now it's like, who can I get? You know, like, who can I get is far different answer. So I try to be as realistic as possible, but truly, like, I'm willing to trade with anyone in the lightweight division. And I want to know who the people want to see me fight.
So like a Fiziev, you're down, all those guys that it seems like
absolutely
have a hard time finding
and
opponents.
If Patty's down, I do that one too.
Who's that?
And then if Patty's down, I do
yeah.
that one too. O2 Arena, I mean, you can't get any louder than that.
Yeah, I saw you talk about that potential one before the fight, but you said that the UFC probably wouldn't give you that one. Now, that's not, when you say that, that's not due to a skill thing, right? Like you're saying, or a ranking thing, you're saying they wouldn't do that because, at least based on your implication was like, you're going to beat him and they don't want you to beat him, right?
Yeah, he's a cash cow.
Yeah.
He's somebody that they're going to want to try to, you know, keep in the UFC for as long as possible. And I'm notorious for killing hypes.
How do you think that fight would go?
He lives his chin up there way too long. His jiu-jitsu is a problem for sure. He just kind of like Bobby Green, like he's got a style that's hard to find. And so he might win this first round, but I will find his chin.
Okay. You think you stop him?
And
what do you think of his performance 2 weeks ago?
I think he has a lot to improve upon.
Yeah.
I think, man, it was a really, really close fight. Some people disagree how close it was, but I just feel when you're fighting a guy with that much star power, like you can't be close.
So if they call you regarding Jalen Turner, you're down. You're in, but obviously bigger name. How do you think the Jalen Turner fight would go? He has looked fantastic as of late.
Yeah. I think that 6'3" reach would be an issue, but I got a teammate, Neil Magny, who, you know, is equally, if not a longer. So it would just be, I would definitely love a kickboxing fight with him. And I think he's going to be clenching me up and trying to take me down and grapple, in which I'll just showcase my purple belt, my brown belt in jiu-jitsu.
And man, that chin of yours, I don't know, like, is there any part of you that, feels like at some point, like, do you believe in the theory that the chin goes away, or do you think that that's something that you're just either born with? Because you have an incredible chin. Even look at like it's just like a big hearty chin, but you could take a punch, my man. I'm sure you don't want to take these punches. I'm sure you don't want to take these shots, right? You'd rather not. But your ability to like withstand the pain, the damage, whatever it is pretty damn remarkable. Do you feel like that's going to last you throughout your entire career, or do you think that's something you have to be cognizant of?
I mean, you definitely got to be thoughtful of it. I think, the chin is godsend. Punching power and durability is just godsend. And, I got the heart for it too, to back it up. But truthfully, I think what really deteriorates a chin is the extracurricular activities that fighters tend to do. And so I'm intelligent about my brain, and I take the time off when I need it. I don't really spar as much, and I'm not out there partying and doing a ton of drugs and ruining my longevity in the sport.
Oh wow! I was just going to ask you, what were you referring to? So you mean like just like the partying and all that stuff? Not so. I was wondering if you were talking about the sparring, but I guess maybe the combination of the two would be a deadly. Yeah.
When fighters are out partying and putting the drugs in their system and then trying to fight on top of that, and plus not respecting your body, we're all taking damage in fights, even more so in damage in training camps. I'm sparring Justin Gaethje, I'm receiving some mild concussions, in that aspect. So no matter how the fights go, you got to take that time off. You got to respect your body. And man, you got to listen to those nutritionists and those therapists and all those people to help the longevity of your health.
So no partying, but video games. Did you really, I saw on your Instagram, like the next morning, you I don't know if it was an ad or something for Alienware, but were you really back home playing video games that quickly on Sunday morning?
Oh, it was this morning.
That was this morning.
This morning.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. I got in back from Las Vegas last night, but yeah, I decided to just boot up some Alienware. I bought myself a PlayStation 5 for Christmas, so I'm about to test out Elden Ring and God of War. I got a lot of time on my hands in between fights, and so this is what I do.
Wait, so you got yourself a Christmas gift?
Yeah, of course.
Why not? Why sit around hoping someone gets it for you? Just get it yourself.
Exactly. I mean, we just had to put away Bobby Green before I could actually open up the box. So,
what's the main game that you're playing now?
I was replaying Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm a big like RPG nerd. Like all my friends are like, hey, like let's hop on Apex and like play multiplayer games. Like I'm not a multiplayer type person. I'm not a first person shooter. I like play like the virtual books. So like when I nerd out, it's as high as a nerd you can get.
Let me ask Frank. He's our resident nerd. Frank, you know about this game he's talking about?
Completely stand behind everything he's saying.
All right. Frank agrees with you, just so you know, so you could feel good about that. That's mysterious, Frank.
Good.
For all nerd questions, we go to Frank. Well, very happy for you. Congratulations on the win, on the performance, on the year, man. An incredible year, and I'm looking forward to 2023 for you to see what you do. And good luck, of course, with the upcoming pregnancy and with the gender reveal. A lot of exciting things for Drew Dober, so enjoy it all, my man.
We got big things coming in and outside of the cage, and so I'm excited.
I love it. Happy holidays. Thanks for coming on.
Happy holidays. Thank you so much for having me on.
All right, there he is, Drew Dober. Frank, you don't mind that, right?
Not at all.
I mean, I feel
I
like...
wanted to chime in.
I
was holding myself back.
Did you know what he was
Yeah.
referring? That
insane.
is like completely...
Best fighter ever.
Wait, what is that? What's the best fighter ever?
Drew.
Oh, he's your favorite fighter?
Yeah, come on.
Because of those choices?
Excellent choices.
You know those?
Yes.
GC?
Yes, I know those. I actually like RPGs too.
Really?
I mean, Drew Dober slowly working up the ranks into the
That
top
chin.
10. The chin is like it needs to be donated to science. Like it's truly unbelievable.
And RPG, real. What is RPG?
Nope.
Role-playing game.
Role
There it
playing.
is. Role-playing game.
I was gonna ask him, but I was like, oh man, he's gonna lose all respect for me. Role playing games. The last role playing game that I played,
Let's hear it.
GoldenEye.
Wow. So
N64.
not quite.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think that's an RPG.
Cool game though.
What do you mean?
That's a first person shooter.
which he doesn't like. So
What's the difference?
I'm really glad you didn't say that.
What's the difference?
I'll let Frank.
I
handle
missed
that
it
one.
because I'm listening to
Oh,
a
sorry.
new guest. Go ahead.
What's the difference?
One is you're playing in the first person of someone who's shooting other people, and one is you're taking on the role of somebody that you're trying to envision yourself as.
Final Fantasy VII, my favorite RPG game of all time.
Jeez, Connor, we gotta talk.
Yeah.
All right, this is a real throwback Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars.
I was literally gonna
that's-
buy that again.
Oh, I loved it.
Wow.
I loved it. Paper Mario, great RPG game.
Oh, Paper Mario sucks.
Connor, I didn't know this.
What?
The graphics, Paper Mario, he's like in 2D. Who wants
That's
to
the
play that?
point. It's Paper Mario.
He looks like
Listen, man,
an
I'll catch you in
origami.
2023 after that take. I mean, Mario sucks.
Have you seen the trailer for the new Mario movie?
Yeah.
Can't wait for that.
Looks great.
I love what they
Mario
did with
movie.
Sonic, to be honest, so I'm even more happy about Mario.
Same studio? Same people?
No.
Oh, all right. Well,
But there's enough, like, the crowd is able to influence good changes for these things as they did with Sonic.
any famous people in the Mario one? Like
What?
who's playing Mario?
Chris Pratt.
Oh wow, like
A lot of
that's his
famous
voice.
people. Yeah, Jack Black is in it.
Oh my guy.
As, Bowser.
I sent Jack Black a DM.
Oh,
Come on,
the man.
Did
Didn't
he
see
leave it
it.
on red or
didn't see it.
We taking a team trip to go see the new Avatar?
no?
When's that coming out?
It's already out.
Do I have to see the first one?
No.
Perfect.
Go catch it in IMAX.
I would rather go see Interstellar than Avatar 2.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Interstellar,
Anyway,
dope movie.
I have to move on. I'm sorry. I wish we can continue this great conversation. We've got the man who held the title up until very recently, the light heavyweight title. Unfortunately, he was unable to compete at UFC 282. Very appreciative of the fact that Jiří Procházka, the pride of Czech Republic, is joining us. Let us say hello to him right now. There he is. Hello, Jiří. How are you, my friend? Thank you for doing this.
Hey, great. Thank you too.
Okay, well, I'm so sorry about what happened. I'm so sorry that you got hurt, that you were unable to compete.
That's life. That's life.
That is life. So could we start at the beginning? Could you tell us, because I don't know if I've seen an interview with you since this all happened. So could you tell us what happened? What led to the injury?
Man, it was sparring session, but everything was light. Everything was light. Everything was not nobody goes nobody did something wrong, but I just did some mistake. I let the guy to take my back, and he just throw me for the suplex right to the shoulder, and yeah, that was that.
Okay, so it wasn't a pre-existing injury. It was something that happened right then and there. Like you weren't battling a shoulder injury leading up to that point?
No.
Or you were?
I don't know if with that if with that shoulder will there was something broken.
Yeah.
But my last 5 year, I felt like the right shoulder was a lot of. I had a lot of pain with that, and I think there was something broken before that. So that's why I think it just we just finished with that shoulder was started. But I'm taking that like that's life, and this time I will use to be stronger. That's all.
And when it happened, could you tell something went wrong, that something was wrong? Like when the injury happened with the sparring, did you feel right away that something was bad?
Sure. Yeah. The shoulder was shoulder was out, and so one guy he put me that shoulder back. One Russian guy from Ankalaev team he put me that back in the gym. And after that, we went to the hospital, and everything after
that. So Ankalaev was there when you got hurt?
Yeah. There were everybody. That was just a sparring session, but nobody nobody did something wrong.
Right.
It was just my mistake. My I was not focused. So it was my fault.
I was told that despite the injury, that you were still saying like, I will go and fight. I have no problem fighting. Were you trying to stay in the fight?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's true. That's true. And still till now, I'm still thinking about that. I had to go to the fight because I believe in that. I can solve it. I can solve the fight. I can end it in the first second, in the first round. Doesn't matter. To not be there longer than is necessary. But everybody knows the story about TJ Dillashaw, or it was TJ, TJ Dillashaw. So I want to be just professional, and I just wanna be humble to my team around me, to UFC, and to my opponent. Yeah.
Do you think if the TJ Dillashaw thing didn't happen, that you would have gone in there and fought with one good shoulder?
What?
Do you think if the TJ Dillashaw incident didn't happen in October, and that wasn't on the mind, that you would have actually gone out there and fought him with one shoulder?
Ooh, maybe yeah.
Wow.
Maybe yeah, but that doesn't. I don't want to think about that. It's behind me.
Yeah.
And I thought many time about that. I had to go to the fight to that fight with the Glover, because I believe still I had to win. Yeah. about yeah. No, I will not talk about that more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask?
Let's be focused for a new chapter, and now I have to make a strongest shoulder in the business.
How are you handling everything emotionally? Going from title, like how are you dealing? It's now been a couple of weeks.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm everything is great. I had this situation. I know that many times, and why I'm thinking about that, I had to go to the fight with the Glovers with the shoulder. That's why, because I went to the fight like to be sick, to be broken or something wrong so many times. So that's why I thought about that. Yeah. So that's because everybody who's doing this sport like truly, like who's the warrior, I think there is just one way, just to go to fight and win the fight. Doesn't matter what's with the body.
One thing that I was curious about, why did you vacate the title? Sometimes when we see injury, they make an interim title, but the champion doesn't vacate it. Was that your idea, or was that someone else's idea to vacate the title?
That was that was very hard thing for me, but I don't want to talk about that a lot. But after talk with the UFC, with the directors of UFC, I have to let the show must go on.
Yeah.
Show must go on, and I respect it. What to say about that? Like for me, I wanna stay like a champion. If doesn't matter if I'm injured or doesn't matter what, but if it's the best for the light heavyweight division right now, to make it better, for me it doesn't matter. My way is to be the best fighter in the world. No, not just in the light heavyweight. So that's why I can vacate the title and wait for my moment till I will be in full power. Then I will take it back, everything.
When you found out, like, all this happened on that one day, that one Wednesday, and you had to withdraw from the fight, vacate, and then Glover didn't get a title shot. Then it became Jan and Magomed. Was there any part of you that felt bad for Glover?
Yeah, yeah. That's why I wrote him some messages about that. I'm sorry about that. I will not fight, and about how the UFC, he spoke with him about his next fight, about that he is not the challenger for the title fight. But now things happened, and he will fight in Brazil with that Jamal Hill, and I wish him the best to the fight.
Did you watch the Jan Blachowicz Magomed Ankalaev fight?
Sure, yeah.
And what did you think of it? And who did you think won?
100%. Like everybody see that. So watch that. Ankalaev is he was 100% like winner, but it was really close. And I'm very appreciated that he showed a big warrior spirit, because his leg was fucked up, yeah, and he showed really, really, really nice heart in that fight. And Jan, he didn't use the opportunity to end Ankalaev with that, because it was everybody watched that. So doesn't matter about their fight. Doesn't matter what will be the next. I will be focused just for me, to make my show the best, and to be in the best shape for the next fight. And I believe it will be not so long time, like a lot of doctors saying, because I know my body. Really, I know my body. I know how to recover after surgery, after these hard situation. So that's why I'm calm and satisfied. Yeah.
Was it hard for you to watch that fight? They were fighting for your belt, and clearly you didn't want to give up the title. Like, was it difficult for you to watch it?
Yeah. It was not. Nice to see.
Yeah.
To see after few months after that, I get the title. A few months after that, I'm watching another guys fighting for the title, and especially like that. So I think they not gave the 200% to get the title. Yes, that, because for me it's a simple. If you are in the UFC, and if you are fighting for the title, or every fight, doesn't matter, you have to go there with you have to fight for life. And that was a lot of there was a lot of strategic tactics, and but doesn't matter.
And after it ended in a draw, were you surprised that they then made a new title fight after, a month? Like, this is a crazy situation.
Yeah, it's a crazy situation, but I think, and that was a little bit unrespect for Smith, but our division must move forward, because how I see that, I'm the one and only guy who is still evolving, and who is showing a true potential of the light heavyweight, because there is a lot of guy who's like fighting to win, to just like to make a money, to win, and this is about the best performances. We are in the UFC, and the guys have to respect that we are in the best organization of the martial arts, and you have to show some art, like the best what you're working on all your life, or your fighting career. And our division must move forward. That's all. That's why I respect the opinion and the result. The next title fight will be in Brazil, Jamal Hill versus Glover Teixeira. If the Jamal Hill, like, he's talking about his performances, his everything, like he's the best and everything. Okay, let's please show it. and I will be glad. I will be glad if he will show something, some great performance. Yeah, because after I will return, I will show him that, or whoever will be there. I will show them I'm 200% on another level.
When you saw that it ended in a draw, was there any part of you that was like, you see, this is the universe saying, I should have just kept the belt?
One more time, please.
When you
One more
saw
time.
that the Jan and Magomed fight ended in a draw and there's no champion, did you think, oh, this is the universe saying, I should have kept the belt. I should have remained champion?
What I have to say for that?
Yeah.
I think everybody knows. Everybody knows, and I don't want to say it's playing. Everything is playing for me, like the everything's showing that I'm the champion. But I don't want to talk about it because I released the I released the title, and I am focused for the next steps and to take that title back. Doesn't matter.
So you've had the surgery, right? What are they telling you as far as recovery? Like, when could you possibly train again, and when could you possibly fight again? Like, how long are we looking at?
1.5 year, half of the year. Yeah, 6 months. 6 months, because a lot of people are saying it's necessary to keep it 8-9 months, but I know my body, and I believe I can fix it by 3-4 months to the full power, because there is nothing in my life what is for me like this. You can't do that. Something something was not possible for, because if I will take it like a target, I will work on it 24 hours, day, night. Doesn't matter. I will, and I believe there is in our human mankind, there is a power what we can use with all the humble, with all the power. Just believe me, I will be back as soon as possible, and stronger than ever.
So you think you will fight in 6 months, or you're back to 100% in 6 months and then you take a fight? Like, when do you think what month do you think you actually fight again? What are they saying, or what do you believe?
It's just prediction. It's all the prediction. What we talk about right now. Just let me do my work. Yeah. And I will show you what I can do. What is my best.
That is fair. And I'm assuming the answer is yes, but did they say when you come back you are going to fight for the belt? Yes? Like, your first fight back will be a title fight, correct?
Yeah. Yes, that's correct.
Okay, great. And you had the surgery, and you posted a picture of the surgery, and everyone thought that Dana White came to visit you at the hospital, the picture that you posted. Yes?
That was not the US Dana White. That was my physiotherapist, Pavel Kulash. He's I don't know if you know the DNS method of physiotherapy, but he teach all the world, all the physiotherapists this method, and he's one of the biggest capacity in the world for recovery the body, how to work with the body, and I believe this guy 100%, because he showed me many times like he's one of the best in that.
And did they say, I don't know, it might be hard for you to explain, but like what exactly was the injury that they had to fix? Like what do you know what it is? Is
Man,
that tough?
was a lot. There was a lot of things. Too many things. What was so old? Like there was a lot old injuries.
Yeah.
There was some little bit new injuries, but a lot of things. There was like old things.
Okay.
So, but I don't know how to name it because.
Fair enough. That's totally fair. By the way, what's up with these USADA guys coming to your house 50 times? I mean, this is too much. What's going on over here?
Yeah. That's true. And now, after after that I vacate the title, USADA is going down right now. So I'm very glad for that. If they will hear that, so thank you. Please keep that.
Why do they keep coming to your house?
And,
Like the difference between the amount of times they visit you and everyone else is like 3 times, something crazy. Why do they keep? Is it because of the whereabouts thing? You don't tell them where you are? Is that why?
Yes, I did some. Sometimes I did some mistakes with that, and there was a lot of like these misunderstandings, and but now it's good.
They come to your house in the morning? They wake you up?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they came. They came to every time around 6 a.m.
Oh.
And that was every time nice morning with them to take my blood twice with the hand from the shoulder. Then they took the urine. it was really funny 4 months with them.
Same guy every time comes?
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes they send here some like from another state to be sure, like to make to they do that correctly. So
okay, but it's quieted down now.
Yeah.
Are you doing? Last time we spoke, we talked about like you stayed in a room for 3 days and you did meditation. Are you doing anything like that to try to heal, to get your mind? Like, do you do anything that is spiritual?
Sure. Yeah. Sure. I don't want to talk about that a lot.
Okay.
Because now it's
personal.
Now it's personal, okay. and I'm working on the. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But still, I'm working on that. Yeah.
But you are doing
that's
something.
The way. Yeah. Because you have to, if you have a free time, like right now, I have to stay calm with the shoulder till the end of the year. Like no exercises, no bike, nothing. So I have to put the focus for something. You have to keep the discipline and still work with your body. Something like that.
Okay, yeah,
breathing techniques,
right?
Things. Yeah.
By the way, I saw some footage of you playing soccer. You were, I don't know if this was like a charity game or something, that we just finished the World Cup yesterday, but very impressive stuff. Yeah. We're going to show some of the footage here. Where was this that you were playing soccer and you almost had a nice header? Here you are coming onto the pitch. You look like one of those World Cup stars from the Czech Republic. Where was this?
Yeah, that was the one of my like bet sponsor from Czech Republic. He made these match between 2 villages, and they came it and they put it in television.
Oh wow!
And yeah, and here in Czech Republic it was really everybody watched that. So that was very funny. That was very funny. And my childhood sport was football.
Yeah.
So I played with my childhood friends. That was really nice.
Were you happy for Messi?
Yeah, Sure. Yeah. Everybody talks about that right now, and I'm happy for him. Very happy. It's really nice story, and I'm a fan of these nice stories.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
Last thing for you. All's going to go well for you in 2023. We have the title fight in January. Who are you hoping will hold the title when you come back? What's your, if you had a perfect story, who do you hope is holding the title when you come back?
Who? Now it's like the heavyweight division is going so fast, so I don't know who will be there after half of the year. So I don't wanna say, but in the next fight and in all the fights, I have no favorite. I have no favorite.
Okay.
In that fight, or Glover or a Hill. For me, it doesn't matter. Just show me the best performances, and after that, I will come. I will win. Doesn't matter.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you're a class act, Jiří. I really appreciate the time. Thank you for coming on. And again, I'm very sorry that this happened. I feel for you, my friend, and I wish you a very quick recovery. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Happy New Year, and I hope that we'll see you in the octagon again, where you belong, very, very soon.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Same to you, my friend. All the best. There he is, Jiří Procházka, the number one contender until he returns for that light heavyweight title. You'd have to imagine that they're going to give him a title shot when he returns. Will it be against Glover? Will it be against Jamal Hill? Do they get another title fight in? It all depends on that recovery, but great to get some clarity. And I thought maybe one of the most interesting things that he said was, didn't sound like he wanted to give up the belt, but he understood why it was recommended. So can't imagine how he truly felt after seeing the split draw 2 weekends ago. So we wish him the best, and hopefully we get some clarity to the top of the division on the 21st, and then we get to see him back maybe in the summertime, or, around, early, late. He said 6 months, so, a little sooner than I thought. So I wish him the best in coming back as soon and as safe as possible. Now, very excited to talk to our next guest. Have not talked to him before, never been on the show. And as we were talking about at the beginning of the program, considered by most to be one of, if not the best BJJ practitioner, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner in the world. He has a very, very, very loyal following, very popular in all kinds of circles, and was competing this past week at the UFC Fight Pass Invitational. He was victorious once again. He's going on 5 years since his last defeat. He is a man known to many as the King. He is Gordon Ryan, and he's kind enough to join us right now via the magic of Zoom. There he is. Hello, Gordon. How are you? Nice to meet you.
What's up? Nice to meet you. How's everything?
Everything's great. Are you, it looks like you're at a gym right now, at a jiu-jitsu gym right now. Is that a map behind you?
Yeah, I'm filming in Boston. I have another instructional to do. So I'm filming a leg lock instructional right now. So I just took a break to do this.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And by the way,
of course,
props on the look. I like the look very much. I don't know what inspired this look. Because at first it started off as blonde. Now it's like a little bit silverish. Why did you do this? The beard as well.
Yeah. So in 2017, I just did it blonde to kind of troll Dylan because I thought he looked terrible. So I did the blonde just to mess with him. And then I did white for 2017 ADCC. So you're like a gray for 2017 ADCC, and people kind of liked it, and I kind of liked it. It kind of stuck out more than my like regular like dirty blonde brown hair. And then I just kept running with the gray. And then for this one, I wanted to bring it back, and I was debating for a while doing my beard. I was like, I don't know if the beard's going to look that good. So I started doing the hair white, and that kind of stuck out a lot. And then the beard, I was like, let me do the beard and see how it goes. And if anything, I'll just shave it off and grow it back before ADCC. But the white beard with the white hair pops out a lot, and gets people talking, and it stands out. So now it's funny, after ADCC, I shaved it, and like no one knew who I was. Like shaved everything off, and I was like incognito for the longest time. I was like in a frame shop, and a guy came in and he saw a bunch of pictures of like fan art, and he's like, man, is that Gordon Ryan? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh man, I don't know anything about jiu-jitsu, but like my brother-in-law does that, and he's always sending me stuff about Gordon. And he's like telling me about like Gordon Ryan. And I'm like, yeah, that's just me with like white hair and a beard. He's like, oh my God, that's you. And I was like, yeah, it's me. I had like my glasses and a hat on and no beard. And he didn't know who I was for like 5 minutes. And then he finally figured it out.
So you're sticking with this now?
This is for a little while. Yeah, at least. It's such a pain in the ass to dye this beard because like the bleach fumes are going up my nose and in my eyes. But beauty isn't comfortable, but it pays sometimes. So it definitely sticks out. And
it's working for you. You won ADCC, you won this past week, so things are going well, as per usual. This UFC Fight Pass Invitational, I don't know, event, if you will. I think it's the third one that they've done. As someone who's competed all over the world, every major competition, how would you rate it? Like how buttoned up were they? How big did it feel? And you were victorious once again, but like what did you think of the whole thing, the whole operation?
The operation was super smooth, very professional. Everyone has a specific job. The UFC has been operating for a long time, so everything was like clockwork. It was like the easiest event ever. I came in and, you're supposed to do this at 2:15. Boom, 2:15, you're in. 2:30, you're out. 2:45, you're here. 3 o'clock, you're out. It was like the easiest thing I've ever had to deal with as far as, operation and just, communicating with the organization. I think that there's definitely some things because there's still very young as far as like grappling events. I think it's only the third Fight Pass Invitational. I think there's definitely some tweaks that they can do, I think, to make the tournament and the rule set and, that stuff a little bit better as far as like the actual competition. But the production was amazing. It felt like a real professional event. And it was just, it was a great experience to be part of all around.
Is this like a one-off for you with them, or did you sign a multiple match deal with them?
No, it's just a one-off. Everyone's trying to get me exclusive now. I think the model now is, I think one is trying to make athletes exclusive. I think Fight Pass and Flow, I think, are trying to get some guys exclusive. But I'm not unless someone wants to pay me an absorbent amount of money. I'm going to be non-exclusive for a while. So this is just like a one-off, and now I have to talk to them as far as what they want to do next. I'm supposed to fight Mason Fowler, who's the winner of the tournament. He won the tournament, and the winner of the tournament is supposed to compete against me sometime next year. So I have to compete against him and, negotiate and talk to them about what they want to do next.
Do you think that obviously with the UFC's marketing and as you said, they've been around, they know what they're doing. Could this take jiu-jitsu to the next level, or am I it's a fight? They're not putting it on TV. So jiu-jitsu is supremely popular. You're supremely popular. UFC involved or not, it doesn't really make that big of a difference. Like, how do you feel? Like, is this the thing that everyone's been waiting for, or for you, is this just another event?
I think so. I think that ADCC was the first big step, and I think that potentially UFC putting marketing money and empower into jiu-jitsu, I think is potentially the second big step. I think that if over the next 5 years the UFC really heavily invests in jiu-jitsu, and they see that the popularity is growing, it's exploding as a sport, and starting to become mainstream. I think ADCC had like 13,000 people in seats for like 2 days straight for like 16 hours a day. And that's very impressive. Even for like a large scale event like the UFC fills out stadiums and arenas and like at Madison Square. But those people are there for 4 hours. Like ADCC fans were there for like 2 days straight, like 16 hours a day. So I definitely think there's potential, and I definitely think that with the UFC behind, marketing jiu-jitsu and promoting jiu-jitsu, start seeing jiu-jitsu athletes posted on like the UFC Instagram, I think is a big step. I think it's just good for everyone. I think it's potentially a big step depending on how serious the UFC wants to take it.
Do you think we'll ever see jiu-jitsu in the Olympics?
It's hard about jiu-jitsu in the Olympics because there's not one main governing body and there's not one rule set. Like we're never going to agree on a rule set. There's 5 different rule sets. You have submission only with a time. You have no time limit sub only. You have EBI. You have IBJJF, and you have ADCC rules. And then me or you can open a tournament tomorrow and make whatever rule set we want. Like there's no one main, there's not one rule set. So the first thing we have to do is agree on a rule set, and then we can kind of go from there. But until that happens, it's going to be almost impossible.
Which is your favorite?
I like no time limit matches, just because there's no way that a biased referee or judges can interfere with the decision. It's just the winner of the match is solely determined by the technique of the athlete. And same thing with EBI rules. Like there's no way that, a ref can, the ref can mess up the call and, finish their time early or let it go too late, whatever the case is. But EBI, no time limit, is my favorite because the athlete is only, or the outcome is only determined by the athlete. Whereas like with IBJJF or ADCC, it can go to a ref's decision, and then you have, one or two biased referees or judges or whatever the case is, and they can kind of screw you, and they can screw you with calls and points and things like that. But with submission only, it's hard. It comes down to the athlete mostly. So I like anything determined by the athlete only, and not a third party, referee or judges table.
And you don't think for the greater good of the sport, like everyone could come together, the major players, and say, okay, we're going to agree that this is the main one, and we're going to try to get this into the Olympics to grow the sport, to get more people involved, to get more, or is this just like a kumbaya thing? It will never happen.
Well, I think everyone pretty much agrees that ADCC is the main rule set. I mean, ADCC is like our Olympics. It's the most prestigious rule set we have. So I think that an ADCC rule set going forward into the Olympics would probably be a pretty good one. It's pretty spectator friendly. I think that maybe a couple of tweaks to make it more spectator friendly, or giving people a uniform that they have to wear, so everything is kind of like the UFC, like everyone has like the same uniform, or the NFL, whatever the case is. But I think that ADCC is the agreed upon rule set for what's most prestigious, at least. So I mean, we could run with that, but I don't think that anyone's going to agree on what the most prestigious, on what the rule set should be. I think that if someone's going to bring it to the Olympics, I think it's going to be whichever group of people is going to present it to the Olympics, will probably be the group of people that ends up determining what the rule set is. I don't think it's going to be like everyone in the sport comes together and we have a poll. I think it's going to be like if the IBJJF goes to the Olympics and then they talk to the Olympics, I think it'll be IBJJF rules. I think if a group of ADCC activists goes to the Olympics and then it goes to the Olympics, it'll be ADCC rules. I'm whatever rule set, I've won in all the rule sets, so I'm happy to compete in whatever rule set they decide. They would decide if it went to the Olympics. But I definitely think an ADCC rule set is a pretty good rule set for the Olympics, and it's fan friendly. Like no time limit matches are not fan friendly, and you definitely can't have a 3-hour match in the Olympics. Like It doesn't make sense. But ADCC rules you could definitely do for sure.
So you were supposed to compete against Vinny Magalhães, former UFC fighter. You have a history with him. Last guy to defeat you back in 2018. He withdrew. How did you feel about that? And did you consider withdrawing as well when he withdrew?
Yeah, I was upset when he pulled out. They actually wanted to make him do a weight cut. I was against the weight cut. I think Vinny was like 275 or something.
Wow.
At ADCC. And they wanted him to make 235. And I'm like, guys, I fight way bigger guys all the time. It's not MMA. Just have him come in whatever weight and I'll fight him. And they're like, no, we want him in shape. We want him to do the weight cut. And I think he tried to cut 26 pounds the day before, and his kidneys shut down and he ended up in the hospital. So they called me like the day before, and I was like, okay, that sucks, but the show must go on, so we'll find a new opponent. So they started asking guys, and the first guy they asked was Nicky Rod, and Nicky Rod agreed. So Vinny was out, unfortunately, and I wanted to get that win back because he is the last guy to beat me. But the match will happen eventually. Like we'll compete eventually, and I think I can get that one back. But I was a little bit bummed, but at the same time, I was like, it is what it is.
And for you, health-wise, I know you've talked about you had these stomach issues that were, that actually precluded you from competing a bit. COVID did as well. But what exactly was going on with your stomach? And I saw recently you posted something like, you were eating a sandwich, a sub or something, like first time eating it without the stomach issues. So what were you dealing with, and where would you say you're at now in terms of your health?
Yeah, so I had recurring staph infections in 2018, and I was taking oral antibiotics all the time, and it just completely destroyed my stomach. And nobody could figure out what was wrong with me for like 4 years. So it was just getting worse and worse for like over those 4 years. Eventually, I had to retire because I couldn't like even hold a conversation anymore. I was so nauseous.
Wow.
And then I finally found a doctor who figured out what was wrong with me. I had H. pylori. I had a bacterial imbalance in my stomach. I had a massive fungal overgrowth in my small intestine, and I had mold poisoning from somewhere. So I had 4 different things. I had to treat them all individually. And now I'm about 75%. But this last ever since right before ADCC, I've been dealing with like pretty severe acid reflux that just developed out of nowhere, which is killing me right now. So it's like a struggle to talk because I have like acid in my throat right now. But other than that, I mean, the nausea is like probably 75% better. I just did I did a test, stomach test with my doctor. I retested, and all my levels came down from like way up in the red into now they're only in the yellow. So I remember like the one of the, I forget what it was. I think it was myotoxins from mold. Like 0 to 5 was normal, and then 5 to 10 was like moderately high, and then I think like over 10 was high, and mine was like 555.
What?
Like I was like 50 times what I was supposed to be, or like 100 times what I was supposed to be, and I was like way up into the red. But now everything came down and it's in the yellow. So I'm probably with the nausea like 75% better. I can eat meals, I can hold conversations. So now it's just I have another doctor's appointment on Wednesday to figure out what I'm going to do with this acid reflux. I started taking like a new antifungal, an oral antifungal, and he seems to think that it's like a dying off effect of the fungus that's causing the acid. So I don't know what he's going to do, but I'm just hoping that I can get the acid under control, for this next camp that I have to do.
When you had to retire because of all this, and by the way, are you struggling right now? Do you want to take a break or something?
No, I'm okay. I'll let you know. But right. I'm definitely not perfect, but I'm okay for now. We're okay.
Okay, all right, cool. And I won't keep you much longer, but I'm just wondering, like, when you retired and you're you're so young. I think you're 27. By the way, we share the same birthday, July 8th. So great stuff.
Oh, nice.
You're 27, right? So
yeah, 27.
You were still such a young guy when you retired 4 years ago. How tough was that for you to have to give up what was looking like such a promising career at such a young age?
Oh man, it was the worst. So I didn't retire 4 years ago. I retired in 2021.
Oh wow!
So it was like yeah. So I just came back to competition right before ADCC. I was actually not going to compete until I was like 100% better. But I had ADCC. I had this super fight. It was the biggest ADCC ever, and I'm like, man, just fucking like I got to do it. It's actually funny because COVID actually saved this ADCC. If COVID or if ADCC was in 2021 like it was supposed to be, there's no way I would have been able to compete. That's like like 3 months after I retired, or took a leave of absence. I called it because I was so sick. And yeah, so I was sick since 2018, and then the fungal infection and the bacterial imbalance just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and no one could figure out what it was. And then I was like, okay, well, I went to 6 or 7 of the best stomach doctors in the country, and no one could figure it out. Maybe it's just going to get better eventually. Hopefully it gets better. And so I was like, if no one could figure it out, I'm just going to deal with it until it gets better, or I can't deal with it anymore. And then we were living in Puerto Rico, and it was like, I couldn't even hold the conversation. Like I went on Joe Rogan, like the first time, like Joe Rogan experience. And like, I just met Joe at the time. And I was like, man, I can't tell Joe Rogan that I can't do this podcast right now because I'm so nauseous and I can't talk. But I'm just like the whole time, I'm just like, hold it together, hold it together, hold it together. And I had like no recollection of what we even talked about because I was so nauseous the whole time. I was just like, come on, just get through it, man. And then so eventually, not only could I like not train the right way or compete the right way, like I couldn't even hold the conversation. Like I couldn't even talk. I just like couldn't live life at all. And I was like, man, I can't do this. And like when you're an athlete and you're in a camp, like you're not going to take the time to travel to California, to travel to all these different places, to go to a stomach doctor and miss a week of your camp. Like you're just focused on the camp. So I was like, finally, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore. Like I'm only going to focus on getting better. I got to find a doctor who can help me. And then I went to this doctor in Los Angeles, Dr. Rabar from LA Integrative Gastroenterology. And he ran a bunch of tests that no one has ran on me before. And everything was like way out of whack. And I told him what my symptoms were. And I was actually diagnosed with gastroparesis. Because I did a stomach emptying test and I was emptying slowly. But he said, I don't think you have gastroparesis. There's no reason for you to have it. I think that you're just emptying slowly because there's a fungal overgrowth in your intestine and it's backing everything up and causing you to empty slowly. And so like he knew what the problem was right away. And then he did the test and the test confirmed what he thought. So I got misdiagnosed and I was getting treated for something I didn't even have. And then he figured it out. And I've been on treatment now for like 1.5 years. And he said like another 1.5 to 2 years and I should be back to 100%. So we'll see. I'm healthy enough at least right now to compete. So as long as I can do that, then I'm pretty happy.
I remember when you signed with One, that was a really big deal. And we were wondering if you would, dabble in MMA. But the One deal kind of just came and went. And now you're no longer with One. How come?
Yeah. So With one, I felt so bad because I just signed with them. I think like in the beginning of 2000, I think it was 20, and then COVID happened, so I wasn't able to compete. And then right when everything was starting to open up again, my stomach got so bad I couldn't compete anymore. So I was part of one, for all this time, and I was never able to compete. And then when I started to compete again, then we were in a different situation with the contracts. Like we had to renegotiate contracts, and we just never came to an agreement. And I actually felt so bad. I was like, Chantry, like when the one comes to the US, like I felt so bad about not competing. I'm like, I'll do a grappling match for free for one, just because I've been, part of the organization for 2.5 years or 2 years, whatever it was. And I wasn't able to compete. I'm like, just let me do a match for free. I feel so bad. Like,
wow.
I feel so bad that I've been like, you guys have been promoting me and I've been doing all this stuff and I haven't been able to compete. And he's like, oh, no, we'll pay you. But so now I'm not in a contract anymore with them. But I still talk to Chantry, and, I think he still wants me to compete for one. It's just, I think one is trying now to sign a lot of the athletes or all the athletes exclusive. And that's not something that I particularly want to do right now. I mean, I'll do it if they offer me enough money, but this is going to have to be a lot of money. But I'm happy to compete. There's just so many opportunities right now to be exclusive, like UFC, they have Flow, we have One, there's other people popping up. So exclusivity right now just isn't something that I particularly want. But I think they're open to, I have to do a call with Chantry. He's always traveling and busy and, doing this or that. But I'm supposed to do a call with him for the last couple of weeks, actually. And we keep missing each other. But I think I definitely want to compete for one again, or no, for one for the first time, and do my debut because it's interesting. It's a different audience. They have a big audience, especially over in Asia. You compete in a cage, so it's very, very different than competing on a mat, and it'll give me a chance to, kind of show some of my fence wrestling skills and open up other avenues for me. So, I'm happy to compete for one. I love Chantry. He's always been super, super good to me. If I have a problem, I can talk to, Chantry, the guy who's running the show, rather than have to deal with, a guy who has to talk to his boss and who has to talk to their boss. So, Chantry's been nothing but great to me. One has been nothing but great to me. That's just a matter of, coming to terms on agreements and getting out there and competing.
Do you think you'll ever compete in an MMA fight?
I don't know. John has never been wrong. Our coach has never been wrong about anything.
John Danaher, right?
And,
the great John Danaher.
Yeah, John Danaher. He's never been wrong. He's like told me things, and like whether it be 5 years or 3 years or 7 years later, he's always ends up being right. And John is like, absolutely do not go into MMA. He's like, you already make a ton of money doing this. You're considered the greatest of all time already. And jiu-jitsu is about to become mainstream. And once it becomes mainstream, everyone's going to get paid more, and, jiu-jitsu is going to be like a real sport, and you're the forefront of that. And if you move to MMA now, that could be lost. So I don't know, maybe if one of the other guys from the team wins an ADCC Absolute or something. I've always wanted to fight MMA. But I'm in such a good position now, and I feel like it's like kind of my job to kind of push jiu-jitsu over the hump into mainstream. So I'm not totally ruling it out, but I'm pretty comfortable just grappling right now.
Have you ever been close? Anyone really present you with a great offer and you were close to taking it?
So I was actually going to start fighting in 2019. I was actually getting ready. I was sparring. I was actually getting ready. I went to a Bellator event, and I was talking to, some guys from Bellator. I was talking to one about fighting MMA. And then in 2019, right in the beginning of the year, I fought Joao Gabriel Rocha, and I tore my LCL, and I had to have surgery on my LCL. So the second I came back from LCL surgery, the focus wasn't MMA anymore. It was I was hopping into camp for ADCC because we had 2019 ADCC at the end of the year. So like 7 months off surgery, I had to compete in ADCC. So that was the focus. And then I won the absolutes. And now I'm looking forward to 2021 ADCC, where I have to fight Andre, which ended up being 2022. And I just kept getting like roped back into jiu-jitsu. Like, oh, there's something more I have to do in jiu-jitsu before I can leave. And now I'm at a point where, I don't have to leave. I make, more money than most UFC champions. And, there's no reason for me to get punched in the head every day and have to fight.
That is incredible that you're making more than most UFC champions. Is that Gordon Ryan exclusive, or are there a bunch of guys who make that kind of money right now?
No, that's Gordon Ryan exclusive. I think like it's like I'm like the Mayweather or McGregor, I guess, of jiu-jitsu. I mean, I don't make nearly as much money as them,
Sure.
but like in proportion to the rest of the guys. My goal in the next 5 to 10 years is to be having, athletes at least with purses. No one's going to sell. Most of my money comes from instructionals. Like most of my jiu-jitsu money comes from instructional videos. So I don't think anyone's going to make as much money teaching as I do, because I think I'm a much better teacher. But I do think that in the next 5 to 10 years, I think that athletes could be making, similar money to what I'm making now just through competition purses. Like, I think that an athlete in jiu-jitsu in the next 5 to 10 years should be making over $1 million a year just competing.
Wow.
And if we can do that, then I think that we'll have something going for us.
How close are you to 7 figures an appearance, a match?
An appearance, I'm pretty far off. But in a year, I'm making over 7 figures competing for sure.
Amazing. Is this exceeding your expectations when you got into all of this? Or did you believe that this would come, that you could earn this kind of money?
I mean, to be honest, I just got into jiu-jitsu because I want to start fighting MMA. My first introduction to jiu-jitsu was, I was actually watching, I was probably like 8 or 9 years old. And I was watching a Royce Gracie tribute on Fox. And it was just like a rerun of all the initial UFCs. And, I saw Royce and I was like, man, like that's what I want to do when I get older. But I thought that jiu-jitsu was the best martial art because I watched the Royce Gracie tribute. And so I started training jiu-jitsu, and I never really had aspirations to make a living doing jiu-jitsu, because at the time in 2010, 11, 12, when I started training, there was no way you could make money in jiu-jitsu. I mean, there was no tournaments that paid. You either had to open up a school work at the school all day, or you had to start fighting MMA. Like, people weren't even doing seminars really back then. So I just started because I wanted to fight MMA, and then I started doing jiu-jitsu, and I started making a little bit more money in jiu-jitsu. Like, I think the first year in 2016, when I first broke out onto the scene, I think I made like $100,000. And I was like, okay, like this is the first year that I'm doing this, and I'm making more money than my parents.
Wow.
Maybe I can kind of run, I can kind of run with this and get it to a point where I'm actually like living like a real athlete. Like, I'm become rich doing jiu-jitsu. 5-6 years later, here we are.
It's a remarkable story. And your brother as well competes. He's still doing it, right? He's still competing, Nicky?
Yeah. He just hurt his knee, I think, at ADCC. So I think he's just rehabbing that now. And then whenever he keeps hurting his knees. Whenever there's a big competition or something coming up, or he's training in a hard camp, he's had knee injuries for years now, and he kind of just manages them. He said tore meniscus, a couple of tore meniscus, and I think he just maybe tore his ACL. But I think he's rehabbing that now, and just trying to get back into competition shape. He's had a really unfortunate run with his knee injuries.
Saw the footage last week of you rolling around with the mountain from Game of Thrones. Actually, was the mountain rolling around with a BJJ practitioner, according to the ESPN MMA Twitter account. I don't know if you saw that one. They heard.
I saw that all my fans were roasting them.
Yes. They quickly corrected it, so props for that. But like, what is that like? We're showing the footage right now, some of it. I don't know how much do you weigh, by the way.
I'm like 225 right now, and both of them, both Martins and Thor, are both 340.
Jeez.
So
what is that like?
Well, this is actually perfect for me, because now whenever I get into an argument with an idiot who's like, I'm just too strong for that shit to work on me, I can be like, well, I literally grappled the strongest person on the planet, right. And I assure you that it worked. But first of all, it was probably the dumbest and most risky career choice I've ever made, because it was the day before I was supposed to compete. And I was like, man, if I get hurt, like John is going to kill me. So like they asked me, I told them I wasn't drilling with them because I taught them a private before. I'm like, I'm not drilling with you guys. You're too big. And then the camera guy's like, you guys want to roll? So I like look around. We just finished training. It was like the last day, like the day before competition. So I like look. I'm looking for John, and I see John's nowhere to be found. And I'm like, okay, let's do a quick one. So I train with them, and Martin's actually used to wrestle. So he has some good instincts. Like, he has good base. He's hard to sweep. He's super strong. He's a lot more compact than Thor. Thor's a lot bigger and longer. But I mean, just like obviously the strongest guys you're ever going to touch from every position. But believe it or not, the mechanics and the body position means a lot more than the actual overall strength. And so when you have misplaced strength, you tend to not feel as strong as you are. Like I've trained with so many guys who are so strong in the gym, but they feel like children on the mats. It's very weird how it translates. I mean, these guys obviously are just strong in the gym and strong in the mats because they're just so strong. But like even I've trained with bodybuilders before, and without the body positioning, it's hard to really feel strong. But it was a great experience because number one, I didn't get hurt, thank God, and it ended up paying off. I got a bunch of Instagram followers, so my risk to reward was correct for this one. And they're just awesome guys. They're super strong. Especially Martins has this very good base, hard to deal with. And now I'm trying to convince them to do 6 months of training and do a jiu-jitsu match with another strongman. Because that'll be great for the sport. So I'm just happy they're coming to Austin, I think, in January to train with us a little bit more. They're kind of, I think, they're kind of into it now after training with me and Big Dan. But it was a super fun experience. I always wanted to train with someone who's just obscenely strong, and I finally got my chance to do that this past week.
By the way, does Danaher still rock the rash guard wherever he goes, like weddings? Is it still going strong?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He wears the rash guard everywhere. Even in Puerto Rico, he came to my dad's funeral in dress shoes with dress pants with a little black hat, a full leather jacket in the middle of, I mean, it wasn't summer, but it was Puerto Rico winter, so it was 80 degrees. So he's got a full leather trench coat, and underneath, black rash guard.
Wow. Unbelievable. Everything. Wedding. I've seen him at weddings rocking it. Still the fanny pack too?
Still the fanny pack, yeah. He just he's upgraded. He's got he used to have a Jan Sport, but now I forget what he has. But he's had, I've known him for 10 years, and he's gone through one fanny pack. He had one, and then he changed it, so he had a second one.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a rash guard fanny pack, I think, and New Balances until he dies.
And by the way, I was shocked to hear about Orlando Sanchez and his passing. My condolences to you and the entire jiu-jitsu community. I saw you post something about him. Were you guys friends? Did you train with him? He's been around forever. I remember him coaching fighters for years. Couldn't believe that.
Yeah, I know. It was crazy. I wasn't very close friends with him, but I was cool with him. We talked a lot when we saw each other. We were cool on, we talked on Instagram. We were fans of one another, and he was one of the first Americans to really come out and to consistently win against the Brazilians, which was a big thing. Back in 2012, 2015, there wasn't really many Americans doing that because there's so much influx of Brazilians to America. They were dominating the whole sport at the time. So Orlando was, one of the guys who was carrying the American flag in the sport. He won ADCC in 2015, I believe. And he was just, and then he took silver. I think he had a heart attack actually before 2017 ADCC, and he still took silver, which I don't even know how that's possible. But yeah, I mean, he competed gi, no gi. He beat the best guys in the world pretty consistently. And very, very sad. I never trained with him. I never competed against him. But we were friendly with one another, and he's so young, and he has a whole family, so it's very, very, very sad. I woke up and I saw the news on Instagram. I was actually flying, and I landed and I made a post, and someone's like, "How could you post this? Orlando just died." And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I just got off a flight." So then I did some research, and I found out about it, and just super sad.
Yeah, horrible. So again, my condolences. And one last thing before I let you go. And again, thank you for the time. This has been great. When I say Dillon Danis, what comes to mind?
Clown. I mean, it's just.
How does the jiu-jitsu community feel about Dillon Danis? I know how the MMA community does, but you guys were kind of coming up at the same time, and I think people forget that he was somewhat well respected. And to see what's become of him, how do you guys feel about him?
Yeah. So the thing about Dillon is, first of all, Dillon is a master. Dillon is an absolute master at managing to stay relevant without actually doing anything combat related. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. And, props to him because he doesn't, first of all, his family must have money because he doesn't do anything to actually generate revenue. He doesn't have sponsors. If you look at his Instagram, he doesn't teach. He doesn't compete. Like, I don't know how he's not homeless. First of all, he must have like an inheritance or something. But he manages to stay relevant, and he was pretty well respected. As a brown belt, he won a lot of things at brown belt, and then he was like a big prospect at black belt, and then he had the falling out with Marcelo, and then once he kind of got in with McGregor, that's when he started to fall apart. His popularity skyrocketed, but his career kind of fell apart from there. I actually had a super close match with him in 2017 ADCC, where it was my debut. It was his second ADCC, and he played a very tactical kind of cagey game, and he actually took me to a decision, and I ended up winning a decision. And I've been trying to have a rematch with him ever since, but he won't do it, of course. But he was pretty well respected coming up through brown belt. And then what people don't know about this is everyone thinks like he's like this badass. Well, then now I think they're kind of starting to realize. But if you actually look at the statistics, and I've been dying to actually say this on a big podcast, Dylan Dennis has a record in jiu-jitsu since black belt of 18 wins and 16 losses. Like, he's not nearly as good at jiu-jitsu as people think he is. Like, everyone just references the match with me. Like, yeah, that was 5 years ago. Like, I wasn't good either. But Dylan since black belt is 18 and 16. So it's not a great record since black belt.
You think he'll ever do that rematch with you?
I mean, I've offered him 10-1 odds because he always makes like these obscene like bet matches. Like, oh, I'll bet $1 million against that. Like, blah, blah, blah. I was like, Dylan, you can pick a number. And I did this for Felipe. Like, I gave Felipe 10-1 odds. He put up 10,000. I put up 100,000. And I told him, like, hey, we can do like a no time limit match. Like, you put up whatever number you want, and I'll put up 10 times that amount. We can put it in an escrow account and we can grapple. And then he just like changes the subject or ignores it, and whatever the case is. But now I have now between ADCC and Rogan and doing some things, and I keep winning. Now my Instagram followers are probably almost big enough where he can actually publicly acknowledge me, because before he wouldn't acknowledge me because he knew that if he did, I would just get a lot of his followers. But now I'm like approaching like 800,000. So I'm not too far off his count. So now I think I'm getting famous enough where he can actually acknowledge me. So maybe we can do a match eventually.
All right, we'll see about that. So what is next for you? Do you have your next match lined up?
Yeah, so I have the only thing public right now is I have a match against Felipe Pena, my 4th match against him, February 25th on Flow Grappling. That's in Orange County in the hangar, I believe it is, in California. And then I have probably between like 7 and 10 matches next year. I'm going to be competing almost once a month. Wow. But none of them are public yet, so I can't talk about them. But I have a lot of matches in 2023, pending my stomach, as long as my stomach is okay for it. And then 2024, I'll probably take, pretty easy up until like the middle of the year, and then just do like a few warm-up matches for ADCC. And then 2024 ADCC is going to be the big one. That I think is going to be the biggest grappling event of all time by a landslide. And whether it's streamed on Flow or on Amazon or UFC, wherever it ends up being streamed, I think regardless, that's going to take us to the next level, even more so than this one did.
Wow. Well, I wish you the best, man. Really enjoyed talking to you. Really appreciate you coming on. I'm sorry to hear that you're still dealing with some of those health issues, but based on your performances, you can't tell. So kudos to you on all of that. And good luck in 2023. This was great. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Yep. Thanks so much. Sorry, I was talking a little fast in the beginning. I was just dealing with some fucking acid in my chest.
No, I get it. I didn't notice.
I got it under control at like midway through. So
I appreciate it. All the best to you. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks, man. Great to meet you.
Yes, same here. There he is, Gordon Ryan. And if you've ever dealt with acid reflux, it is a bitch. It is an absolute bitch. And so I can't imagine. I mean, that guy is in incredible shape. Like you said, he won on Thursday, I believe it was. And he mentioned something at the very end there about Amazon. Could you imagine? Amazon streaming ADCC in 2024? That would be gigantic for jiu-jitsu. If they get it on like a real big, no knock on the Flows of the world or wherever else it's aired or streamed before, but a mainstream massive platform like that would be huge for the sport. So I really enjoyed that, and I wish him the best, and always rooting for everyone in that community to do as best as possible. All right, let's move along to our next guest. He had a massive night on Saturday. He had an incredible win over Julian Erosa. He's been in this game for a long time. I always enjoy talking to Alex Caceres. It has been a minute, as they say. Let's say hello to Bruce Leroy. There he is. Hello, Alex. How are you?
How's it going, Ariel?
Good to talk to you again, my friend, and congratulations on the win. It seems like I feel like it's all coming together for you. That was I heard you say afterwards maybe your best performance you felt. Is that an accurate statement of all your fights in the UFC? Would you agree with that?
I would say for the fight itself, yeah, it doesn't get necessarily better than that. I mean, we were able to walk out within the first round, didn't get touched at all, no injuries whatsoever, and come out with the bonus. So it was a very good performance. I would say I can't say it's my best performance. You know, my best performance would. I wouldn't know what my best performance would be. I would, you know, I feel like my best performance would be somewhere in the gym, probably.
Okay. We're not privy to all of those. We don't get to see those, but you definitely seemed on point. And what I love so much about it is, like, if I was just turning on the TV or ESPN Plus and missed the fight and saw your interview with Felder, I would think maybe that you lost or the fight was a draw. Like you don't get too high, you don't get too low. You were like super, super calm. Said that like you want to feel the same way that you do going in as you are going out. Has that always been the mindset for you?
That's always been the mindset that I was trying to achieve, you know, that I'm trying to achieve all the time. And because life is going to go on no matter what, whether you win or whether you lose. People are going to go back to work tomorrow and they're going to go about their own busy lives. So I do want to revel in those moments in the moment, but afterwards is like, you know, to celebrate something you did already done, and not celebrating it in the moment is kind of living in the past for me. To live in the future would be to worry about an outcome, and I don't want to do that either. So I want to go in there just living in the present, and I celebrate every punch. I celebrate every movement that I take, that I'm able to do it. And that is my celebration, the actual action in the deed, not what comes afterwards, which is just the results.
Do you not allow yourself to smell the roses, to kick your feet up and be like, man, I did that, you know, to...
Oh, yes, of course. I revel in my victories, but like it's in the moment. It's in the moment. You know, what I'm doing in the moment. Like every time I land a punch, that's a celebration for me. I don't know, like it's weird. Like for me to celebrate something that could happen to anybody or anybody could do, it's I don't know, like it's not that special to me to win fights. To fight is something special for me. So to actually do that, to see my movement in action is more of a celebration to me than actual like cheering after the fight and everything like that. And it's kind of an energy retention so that I can save it up for the more meaningful things in my life. I don't know, it's like we give a lot of energy away celebrating things that are ultimately do not progress our spirit to a higher function.
And by the way, you know, and I totally understand and respect where you're coming from. Not everyone can do what you did on Saturday. I hope you recognize that. Like, I can't do that. 99% of the world can't do that. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So it is special and it is worth celebrating. What are those things that are worth celebrating? As you said you want to keep that energy. What are those things?
It's what I do every day. Like being able, I think what are worth celebrating is being able to draw breath into your lungs, being able to get up, being able to be able-bodied enough to perform at such a high level. Like these things should be celebrated every day. Like the way my mind thinks, the way I'm able to understand things and perceive things. I know sometimes it's not like how everybody else can. So to me, that's something that I would love to celebrate every single day. That's I'm alive, man. And when you're alive, you're all in it. There's no backing out of it. And the fact that I can do things even afraid and still go through with it, it's a celebration in that. Like it's a power that's beyond me. It's a power beyond anybody's comprehension. And we just gotta kind of revel in that. And that's every day in life. That's every moment in life. And if we're not celebrating every moment in life, then we're missing out on a lot of it. Just focus on goals.
I love that because I heard someone ask you, I think it was after the fight, it might have been before the fight, like, what are your goals for 2023? And you were like, I don't have any goals. And you just said, like, the journey is what you love. And I feel like we lose sight of that. You know, I want to get to this place. I want to do this. I want to do that. and we don't think about all that time, because really that end point is the shortest thing that we're actually doing. It's the journey that if we're not enjoying and reveling in that, then the whole thing is for naught. Have you always had that mindset as well? Like enjoy the journey more than the end goal? Or is that something that you've learned over time? Because I do feel like we've watched you kind of grow up in front of our eyes because you've been in the UFC now for so long.
Yeah. I guess you can say, like, I've always had that mindset, even if I didn't know about it. And I can say everybody has that mindset, even if they don't, even if they say that they don't, that they're goal oriented. It's bullshit, for lack of a better term. And I'm going to explain to you why. And this is why people can achieve so many things and become successful, but still unsatisfied. Because they're living for the goals. And once you reach the goal and you don't have another goal to reach for, then you're depressed. Ask fighters when they don't have a fight to battle in. Don't you hear them talking about how depressing it is, how boring it is? Because they're focused on just the next big thing. If martial arts was your life and it's your lifestyle, I'm never bored, because every day I go to train, I get to try something new. I get to do what I love, and I'm involved in that journey. So I'm never satisfied either. I'm never going to get to a point where I want to stop, because this is my life. It's not something I do. It's not something that I'm trying to do. It's something that I am. And I think we miss sight on what that is, what that really means. And in the most simplest forms, being human is something that I am. It's not something that I'm trying to do. It's not something that I'm trying to achieve. So being kind and being compassionate is not something that I have to try to do, because I can perceive that just as myself, as a human being.
You mentioned being scared a couple of times, and I don't want to, misconstrue this. Like you were like, I get scared. Why do you shake your hands there? Why do you rub your hands together? I love that. Why do you laugh? Why are you laughing?
Well, because I have to wait till you finish your question.
Okay. That makes me want to root for you, because like I'm a very anxious person, right? And so I try to, for a moment, put myself in your shoes. I'll be like, I don't know if I'd be able to like physically walk out knowing. That's why I have so much respect, among the many reasons why I have so much respect for fighters, because I don't possess that DNA to go out there in front of people and potentially get knocked out, potentially get beat up, submitted, punched in the face. And so when I hear someone of your caliber, this always resonated with me with GSP, who would tell me many times, like before a fight, he would throw up. He would look at himself in the mirror and be like, I'm not like tough enough to do this. And then eventually he would go out and he would look incredible. So when I hear fighters say that, like yourself, and there are few and far between, not a lot of people would admit it, even though I would guess that most probably feel that way, it actually makes me relate to you more and be like, oh, wow, he actually does have some fears and he is scared of getting punched. And so I noticed you say that, and I wanted to give you props on that.
Well, yeah, every fighter, every person is afraid. Everybody is. Anybody that tells you otherwise is lying to you dead in the face. I don't care how the act that anybody puts on, you're afraid. You're in there with another person that is good as you or better, that's willing to take your head off. He's also afraid. And that fear is what makes you sharp and dangerous in the first place. If you weren't afraid, you're not going to take anything seriously, and you probably get knocked out really fast, or you get choked out really fast, or you're going to look like you don't belong there. Fear keeps you alive. It's been keeping humans alive for millennia. That's that's for sure. What's the first things we develop when we develop society?
I don't know. Tell me. Weapons. Right. Yeah.
Fear. Because of fear. And that's one way that we can manifest our transcendence of fear, is through building of weapons. Another way is martial arts. The first way was martial arts, building your body as a weapon in order to transcend that fear. Or at least if you are scared, you have the capabilities of dealing with that fear whenever it comes to a confrontation or whatnot. But everybody's scared. But like I said, after my fight, courage is not always there. But if you honor yourself, and if you honor the God within you, and if you honor your opponent, if you honor the situation, then you're going to move even through that fear.
Now, where did you think I was going with the question?
Oh, I wasn't thinking you were going anywhere with the question.
Okay.
It's a subject that I like to.
I love talking about that. Yeah, I love talking about it, because I feel like we don't talk about it enough, and it humanizes you guys. It's like the one thing we can relate on, because I can't relate on kicking someone in the head and knocking them out. I don't know what that's like, but I know what it's like to be afraid. I know what it's like to be worried. I know what it's like to be anxious. And you seem like you're always so calm, cool, and collected. So to hear you, I guess, feel comfortable enough to say that, to admit that, is very admirable to me.
And I guess to specify it is like my body feels fear, my mind feels fear, but I don't, or my true self, my innate self, my intrinsic self does not feel fear. And so I dwell in that self.
Okay.
So that I don't have to go through the suffering of what my body and my mind is going through, fearing the worst. I allow my body and my mind to do what it does, and I dwell in a very safe place of my true self that does not feel no fear because it knows that it's never ending.
What is the biggest difference between the Alex Caceres that I'm talking to today and the one that we first met on The Ultimate Fighter so many years ago?
Time, I guess, not really big of a difference. I've always had a very weird way of looking at things. I feel my path is inevitable, that I was going to end up here regardless, and I'm going to end up somewhere further than here regardless. It's inevitable. Like I honestly believe that. I know that I'm falling into a pond like a rock. There is no obstruction. So in a weird way, even when I was younger, you could say I saw this part of me already existing and I was just catching up.
Do you even know what that path, like, do you know where it's going?
No, but I saw my face and it looks crazy.
What do you mean? How did you see your face?
I have like crazy deja vu sometimes, or like I would call them like premonitions. Like I can see myself in the future and I can see that I'm older and that I'm doing something similar. I'm doing something, but I can't put a pinpoint on what date it is, but I know it's coming.
And when you say it looks crazy, like, what do you mean it looks crazy? The way you aged?
Oh, like my eyes,
Wow.
Like my eyes, I have more facial hair, a little bit more. I'm a little like, I don't know, like a little unkept, but I'm doing well.
Wow. That is wild. And when you use the word weird, do you believe it's weird, or do you think that the world believes it's weird?
A little bit of both, because I grew up in the society. So a part of me sees that I don't fit in for the most part. And then I can associate myself with being weird, even though I don't feel weird in my body, in my own self. I don't feel weird, but I can see where I may look weird because I don't necessarily cater to the casual demographic.
Do you really feel like you don't fit in? Like among who? Among
Oh no, yeah, a lot of people. I mean, I do fit in with. I mean, I have very few people that I can relate to, but yeah, for the most part, yeah, I don't fit in. I have a weird way of looking at things. A lot of people. It's very hard for me to keep up conversations with people. With most people,
Sure.
It's very rare that I actually have great conversations with people with open minds or anything like that, because some of the ideals that I'll pass on or think about, I guess it's to them very strange of looking at it. Like, for instance, if we were talking about and this is like completely off subject,
I love
but
it.
like everybody thinks that I guess the way that I speak and what I speak about, they want to ask me questions about Black History Month or Black Lives Matter type of stuff, and they think I'm some type of like what is that thing called? What do you call those people? Activists, some type of shit like that. And I don't believe in any of that stuff. Honestly, I don't think any of that is good for any type of movement. I don't think separatism of any sort is good for any type of movement whatsoever. And anything that diminishes anybody's freedom of doing anything, even if it's freedom of expression and speech, I don't care if they're seemingly evil or not, it destroys your movement itself. And I'm sorry, for lack of a better term, but it just makes people look like cowards. Instead of like facing this adversity for real. And I'm not going to accept your pathway to enlightenment, so to speak. Like, oh, we got to do it this way and we got to do it that way. Well, no, we don't. We just got to do it. There is no way of doing something. There is no right way up the mountain. The person that wastes the most time is the man running around the base of the mountain saying you're going up the wrong path. Some ways are going to be harder than others, and some people's lives are going to be harder than others. What we have to do is just have enough compassion to understand that we're all living a different size of suffering, and that we have to make way for each other. If we get in each other's way, we're getting in our own way. When we start involving people's progression in our own lives and it starts to fuck with us, we're getting in our own way because we could just mind our own fucking business and continue. And when we help people further themselves in their goals, we actually get out of our way because and in turn, it helps us further our goals. I've learned more teaching people than I have been taught. So to like, if that analogy makes sense.
100%. And I love, I love the mindset, and I love the way you express it. There is a lot of division in this world. There's a lot of division in this country right now. When you see it, like, do you feel it, or are you so removed from all of it that you don't feel like it, like, because you don't believe in any of this, because you feel like we should all essentially be one, as you said?
No, I didn't say I don't believe in the separation. I said I don't believe in the movements that are calling, that are happening now, that are trying to say we're trying to be less separated. I feel it's separating us even more, like the whole feminist movement and shit like that. Like, no, men need women and women. There is, and no one's being more mistreated than the other. And we saw that with like with that girl who dressed up like a man for 2 years and ended up killing herself because men were treated so poorly in this country. And the men that the feminists are talking about are like the top echelon of people, the 1% of people that most men don't have those lives. They're miserable. They're lonely. You know what I'm saying? They don't get chicks. They don't make money. And then same thing with females. You know, they're in the same boat. And the females that men are talking about are a very small percentage. Most females want men. They want to be taken care of. They want to be acknowledged. They want to be respected. You know, they don't want to have to go out there and work for their fucking selves and support themselves. Independence is how would you say? It's like a fallback. It's like, it's the only thing I got left because I don't got nobody. So I'm going to pretend to be proud in that shit. Men do the same thing. When men get hurt, what do? They isolate themselves. I don't need nobody. Well, now that's what women are doing. I don't need nobody. No, wait, we're all hurt. Let's just communicate with each other because we do need each other. Men and women go further than just men or women. Children that come from houses with men and women go further than just men or women. There is not a better parent. There is not a better sex. If we don't work together, then we're just not better.
How do you feel about religion?
Well, with religion, especially when it's indoctrinized religion and it's what do you call that? I forget the word, but religion. There's a big distinction for me from religion and spirituality.
Okay.
You know, religion's for immature people. You know, when you're maturing, you're going to be more spiritual. There is no source of anything that isn't the source. You're not going to, I can't, that's also separation right there. Because like, for instance, like Christians, not all of them, there's some great ones and there's some great Catholics, great Jews and everything. But for the most part, in every religion, hey, be good to everybody as long as they're like you. But if they're not, try to convert them. And if they don't, then fuck them. And when God speaks directly, he never said any of fucking that. He gave you free will for a reason, you know? And no one is denied complete liberation in the end anyway. I don't believe that. So with religion, I think it's a way to separate people. It causes you to think with a filter. So if you were human and all children are perfect, right? A child does not need to think about what would Jesus do to be a good person. It already knows how to be a good person. You put a child inside of a crib with a rabbit and an apple, it knows what to play with and what to eat. Everything else is taught afterwards. So that's my problem with religion. Spirituality is not taught, it's natural.
And how do you develop your spirituality? What would be the best way? Like, how do you become more spiritual?
The best way is never to lose the child, but that's impossible because with the shit around us, we always lose the child. So the best way to get to spirituality is coming back to that child. Remembering what you love to be, what you love to do before anything got in your way. It's very hard to do because we forget who we were when we were children. That just unfiltered happiness, joy of experience. And even when we did go through pains, you know, we handled it at that moment and then went on with our lives. We never dwelt in the past. We kept going. You ever see a children get hurt? You know, they cry for a little bit and they go right back to playing. Somebody tries to bother them, they defend themselves for a little bit, and they go right back to playing. But then again, like look how all these, like when you see these Chinese movies, these Shaolin monks and whatnot, like how they act. It's like children. They act very peaceful and joyful throughout life, and when someone tries to fuck with them, they fuck them up and boom, and then they're back to being kind and joyful again.
Right.
And that's the way we're supposed to be. I'm not supposed to carry any bad emotion with me when I'm performing an action. You know, I like that. I love that quote that says, "I don't get mad, I just get physical," and it's very true. Things that happen are things that happen, and that's what we're doing. It shouldn't relate to how we feel.
Do you have kids, by the way?
No, not yet.
Okay. Do you want kids?
Yes.
Okay. And as far as like it does not pertaining to martial arts, like nothing athletic. When are you your happiest? Like, what would you do? Time off, you just fought, you need a little bit of a break. I know you love to train every day and I know you have a gym and all that stuff, but is there something not related to martial arts where you're at your happiest, your most peaceful, you know, that type of state?
Yeah.
Thank you, Abe. Was that Abe?
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
When it comes when am I most happiest? I'm never, and that goes back to like, you know, when you're talking about, oh well, Alex, you don't seem too high or too low. You seem to be like in the mid. Like that's when I'm most happiest. That's when I'm most happiest when I can find the baseline and everything. You know, where I'm not pulled to one side feeling too good, and I'm not pulled to one side feeling too bad. When I'm just being, you know, it's kind of like feeling like a breath, I guess. Like, think about this. How happy are you that you're able to breathe?
Very happy.
When you think about it.
Yes.
And maybe it's not happiness, maybe it's like a gratefulness. And that's, I guess that's what the feeling that I would feel all the time. It's a gratefulness, is that when you actually follow the breath in your lungs to feel that living energy, that is amazing. That is amazing. And when I actually realize that every second, you know, every time you fill your breath up with a deep breath and it calms you down and it brings you to peace, no matter what you're doing, that the fact that I'm able to understand and realize that I'm able to breathe in life, you know, and express it in such a way, that is an amazing feeling. And that's a feeling that you can carry with yourself every single moment of the day. So, for lack of a better term, whatever you're doing, if you want to be happy, just breathe.
Do you meditate?
Yes.
Every day?
Every moment. Meditation is, people misconception it as like, I got to sit still and think of nothing. Meditation is to meditate on something, is to actually think of something so hard that you actually become that thing, or you envelop yourself in that thing, or you get lost in that thing. So whatever you're doing, whether it's breathing, talking to you, I'm in a form of meditation right now. It's as if I'm not speaking, it's as if the words are coming through my head, coming out my mouth. But as I choose to do it this way, because it's the very easiest way to convey my truest feelings about any situation. So anything that we do that we're thinking about intentively is a meditation.
And you don't watch any MMA, right? Like, you're not an MMA viewer. You don't follow. You don't sit down. I gotta watch this fight. You don't do any of that, right?
Unless it's my friends fighting, then I'll watch their fight. But other than that, I don't really care to watch fights. I played the game a couple of times. It's fun, but yeah, I don't. It doesn't interest me.
Do you ever? And I'll let you go in a moment. This has been great, and I really appreciate it. I've really enjoyed this conversation. I hope you have as well. Do you ever feel some sort of conflict? You know, prize fighting, combat sports, MMA, it's all about money and gate and pay-per-view and showmanship and selling yourself and all this stuff. And you are somewhat of a rare breed. We just spoke to another guy who's very much like you. His name is Jiří Procházka, the former champion, very thoughtful, loves to meditate, things like that. I mean, he's a different kind of breed as far as the sport is concerned, but you guys are not, you know, like all your typical rah-rah fighters. And this whole thing is a money-making machine, and there's all this stuff. Do you ever feel some sort of conflict about your place in all of it, considering what is going on around you? Or are you able to find peace with...
what's going on?
Well, you know, this is all business, right? This is all like... We're trying to...
Like me being the way that I am, or the way that I have my thoughts, and then doing the things that I do, it seems as if it's not coalescing so well, correct?
Exactly. Like there's like this capitalist pay-per-view company that's trying to sell and music, and you're just in there. You're in a very zen state. You're extremely thoughtful. You know, like your personality doesn't necessarily fit the mold of your typical ultimate fighting competitor, right? And so I was just wondering if
I would have to say that it's just my motivation for fighting was never money. So that it doesn't conflict me with it at all. I mean, I'm glad that I can make a living off of it. That's a wonderful thing, actually. But the motivation for me fighting was never money. And I think that's why, one, I stuck around so long. And another thing is why I just keep getting better, because money, getting paid more is not my motivation. Getting higher ranking is not my motivation. Becoming champion is not my motivation. I understand that all these things are possible, but it simply is not my motivation. My motivation, it's even hard to tell. I say it a lot. I'm still fighting because I'm still scared.
you're still fighting because you're still scared.
Yep.
What do you mean by that?
I don't want to be scared anymore, so I have to fight it out of me.
How much longer do you think you have left in you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my prime. I'm not aging a bit. I feel younger now than I was before. Honestly, like I have less injuries. I'm no bumps or bruises whatsoever. I have more energy. I train like a motherfucker. I'm in better shape than I've ever been. I'm stronger than I've ever been. I do Shark Tank rounds with a whole bunch of young guys, and they're all in their 20s or even younger sometimes. And I get them all tired within a minute, 30 seconds. I just don't see myself slowing down anytime soon. Something in my brain, it feels like it clicked in a sense. And I think it's just self-belief, self-awareness. I never had that. I come through a very, very tough upbringing and background that destroys men's confidence. And it was very difficult for me to find that in myself. I had body dysmorphia. I did not believe in myself. I didn't think I had any type of power or strength in my body. I didn't think I was durable or had killer instinct. And these are things that we don't realize what we do to children as parents, as friends and peers when we talk to people in a certain way, when we downplay them because we're afraid of our own shortcomings or things that we never achieved. And we kind of like put that off on other people. And we don't understand like how much of a anchor we hang on people sometimes that slows them down and sometimes just stops them dead in their tracks. And I had to overcome a lot of that. It just felt like not a lot of people liked me so much that it began to not like myself so much, or not believe in myself so much. And that definitely changed. And that's why I feel like things started to become a little bit different. I started to say, for the most part, fuck what everybody else thinks. It doesn't really matter, and really, what do I think? Even if I feel like it's crazy, what do I think? What am I feel like I'm capable of? And even if somebody says like, oh man, I don't think you'll ever be champion. Well, like I kind of feel like I can be. And it's kind of like this bottled up anxiety or this bottled up excitement that's inside of me and it's about to burst. And I'm almost afraid to say it because if I say it, I might ruin it. But I do feel it's right there. Like I'm on the precipice of getting into something great. And I'm almost too excited to blurt it out. But yeah.
And to be clear, you do feel more confident. You are happier. You're in a much better place.
Yeah, definitely. And in a weird way, even though I am in that place in my mind, in a physical body, I'm in more turbulent waters.
Why is that?
And I guess it goes with like the age old thing. The more you start doing good, the more it seems like people try to trip you up and see you fall and stumble. So just try to dodge those feet that are coming out the aisle, jump over them and make a clean pass for victory.
You feel that's happening to you right now?
Oh, I feel like it's been happening. I just feel like I just stop blaming people for it and just start doing something about it instead.
What do you do about it?
I think that's what I can do. Train, focus, and as much as I can, not worry about it. We complain, we focus on a lot of things that we cannot control in our lives. Like for instance, like people that fuck with us or piss us off. Man, I got 2 legs. I can just walk the fuck away. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, if you try and touch me and you get in my range, I'll take care of you in a whole other fashion. But if you give me room enough and I don't have to deal with you anymore, then and that's all that it costs to not have you in my life anymore, then that's a great price. And I will walk away because it's not worth it. And a lot of people are not meant to realize it in their lifetime. And I don't blame them for that. But at the same time, I'm not going to let you get in my way. And if I have to physically remove you, then I will. But for the most part, yeah, I just try to not give a fuck about what lower minds are trying to do to you when you're trying to achieve something great. It's always apparent that when somebody's doing something seemingly impossible, everybody tries to distract and interrupt them. Just because it's impossible and you never done, just because you can't do it doesn't mean it's impossible. And you shouldn't distract or disrupt the person trying to do that.
Amen. And that's why I have a lot of respect for what you do. It is impossible to me, but I'm not trying to disrupt what you're doing out there. And so great to catch up with you, Alex. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on the win. Fantastic stuff. And keep being you, my man. It's great to see you kind of develop into yourself and be in this happy state. We've been following you for a long time. So it's a beautiful thing to see, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
There he is, Alex Caceres, who had that big win on Saturday. A fascinating human being. I really enjoy those chats, the ones that kind of break out from the typical same old. And one of the main reasons why I wanted to have him on the show. It has been a while since we've been. His UFC debut came in March of 2011. That is unbelievable. Fought Makins Semerzier. Remember him? On the Nogueira Davis card in Seattle, Washington. And it has been now 11 and a half years. I mean, some of these cards that he fought on, unbelievable. Lost his first two fights. And some of the names as well I've not thought of in a while. Makins, Jimmy Hedis, who we just actually spoke of, Cole Escovedo, Edwin Figueroa, Damasio Page, Roland Delorme, Faber, of course, Kane Hara, Francisco Rivera, Cole Miller. Had the big Yair Rodriguez fight back in 2016. They headlined in Salt Lake City, but he's really come into his own since the Kron Gracie fight. Since the Kron Gracie loss in February of 2019, he has won 6 out of his last 7, lost a unanimous decision to Sadiq Youssef, and that snapped a 5-fight winning streak. And then he gets back on track this past Saturday with the first round TKO win over Julian Erosa. How about that, Frank, huh? What a guy.
Amazing.
You enjoyed that chat?
Oh yeah, very much so. I love these characters.
Yeah, they're great. GC, what'd you think of your first exposure to Alex Caceres?
Yeah. Interesting guy.
Yeah, very interesting, right? I mean,
why are you laughing?
Well, I mean, what'd you think? Yeah, all right. I wasn't sure if that was a good thing or a bad thing.
Oh, okay.
Eh?
Yeah.
That's all he's got, huh?
Interesting chat, man.
Yes.
not a ton much else to say.
No, I appreciate
a lot of very interesting thoughts.
You know who's going to love this exchange right here?
Who's that?
Killshaw.
Shout out to Killshaw thinking that I did not do the set.
Yeah, not cool.
7 out of 10 also.
I feel like you've proven yourself at this point, right? I mean, I feel like you have...
I'm going to have to unfollow him on Twitter.
Yeah. Is he back in the YouTube chat?
Yeah, unfollowed. Sorry, Killshaw.
Wow, you just did it right now?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, why?
It's been a lot of hatred. You know, here I was welcoming him back into the fold. I mean, specifically calling him out, saying, come back home. And he questioned whether or not GC was behind all of this.
Oh, the Garland and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one does wonder.
No, he's back.
What do they wonder, Frank?
I mean, I don't wonder. I watched you do it.
Yeah, you were there.
Like someone who wasn't.
How long
there.
did it take?
All I'm saying is Killshaw's been really nice to me, and I'm sure he didn't mean anything by it.
That makes one of us.
How long did this take?
I mean, he was 2 hours.
Longer than anticipated.
Because I was like hearing all this crackling, and I was like,
legit 2 hours?
Nah, not 2 hours.
I mean,
Longer
it felt
than
like 2
anticipated,
hours.
though.
Okay.
We'll get 2 shows out of it, though.
Yeah, Wednesday. Wednesday show. Final show of 2022.
Yeah, I'm going to have a little bit more back here, too. We'll do my set for Wednesday.
And what are we doing as far as picks are concerned? Are you going to give us Bellator? Are there even lines for that on Wednesday?
No lines yet.
So that's just more of a TBD. Should we, I think next year, I always loved this when we were kids. And we'd say like, see you next year.
Yeah.
Isn't that the best?
I bet you were one of those guys.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think you're about to do it right now.
No.
New Year's Eve, your parents go out. All right. Talk to you next year.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best. No, but when are we going to do the recap of the futures? We have to wait until the year is officially done. Have you gotten any futures for 23 yet?
Yeah.
Wow. Give me one.
Well, there's one line that I like, Cyril Gahn plus 850.
To be champ by the end of the year.
Just feel like there's a high potential he gets a title shot at some point in 2023.
Yeah, I could see that. By the way, Killshot has unfollowed you as well. He has just
What is
proclaimed.
going on?
It's like a lot. By the way, after
Can we
all
all
that,
just get along?
after all that positivity from Alex, this is what we
nothing,
get.
I mean, nothing changes in my life with him unfollowing me. I'll sleep well.
Wow. Somehow you have inherited the Killshot feud from New York Rick. It was like a long-standing thing between him and Rick over the summer, and now it's on you.
That's all right.
He's such a nice guy.
Never met him.
That's right, Ariel.
Will we ever meet him?
We might have
No.
met him and just didn't know it was him.
I don't think we ever will.
No, I don't think so.
Seen him.
Well,
That's up for debate as
up
well.
for debate as well. Yeah. Well, what a day, guys. Is there anything else that we have to do? Or I told Frank we might be done by 3:20, 3:30. Went a little longer there, but
Do you want to do an ad read?
I thought I did them all.
Yeah, but we could do another one for fun.
No, I think I'm good. I
Okay.
don't want to give them away for free. I mean, we talked about Argentina. Big win. Did you guys see that drone thing with Argentina through the crowd?
Insane.
Unbelievable. How many people do you think were there?
Oh my gosh, hundreds of thousands.
I heard Frank say when he came in that he's been an Argentina fan for years.
Years, I meant 48 hours.
All right. You didn't even watch it.
Okay.
Um,
Yes. Next time I'm sick.
Incredible. In fact, a lot of you don't know this, but I attended Maradona's last World Cup match back in 1994. Have I mentioned this before?
Nope.
I've definitely mentioned it like 10 times.
No, I never heard it.
Yeah, it was against Nigeria, a very infamous match in which he was taken off the field to do a drug test in the middle of the match. I'd be lying if I said I had any recollection of that, but I was there at Foxborough Stadium. In fact, I think I was sitting next to some dignitaries from Nigeria. It was a great time. But, just to prove that I've been watching football for quite some time, very familiar with the game. Of course, very happy that Nottingham Forest coming back next week. Big game against Man United to get back on track. So, of course, Premier League. Watched a little bit of the Blackburn Norwich City game on Saturday, a little EFL. The championship, as they say. It's on ESPN Plus, GC, if you ever want to watch it.
Yeah, you think I wasn't watching Blackburn? Come on, man. All 90 minutes.
Yeah, I know you were. And what's going on as far as college football? We've got Georgia coming up, yes?
Georgia coming up. Peach Bowl. New Year's Eve. Atlanta. I will be in attendance.
New Year's Eve on December 31st.
Yeah.
Wow.
8 o'clock kick.
Wow.
Might be in Mercedes-Benz as we ring in 2023.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. Is that weird?
No.
How are you going to watch Bellator Rising?
My phone.
Yeah. I don't even think it's live.
Yeah, I don't know if Tapology's off or what's the deal. I mean, I would love to wake up the morning of New Year's
That's
Eve
the way it
and
should
watch
be.
Bellator Rising. I mean, that would be the perfect way to start my final day of 2023.
And it's still up in the air, but we might be, I'll say this, we might be joined in studio on Wednesday by someone that we talked to someone on the show about earlier, Gordon Ryan to be exact. Some interesting comments there.
Mountain's coming in.
That's exciting.
That would be something. I feel like we could get the Mountain on.
Are you going to grapple him as well?
Yeah, Ariel.
No, I will not grapple him. But just to be clear, it is not the Mountain. I don't want anyone to feel like we're, advertising something that is not happening. So that should be interesting. And then we'll call it a year. And we'll be back on January 4th. Got the tux ready. Got the bow tie. Got everything ready to go. Started to do my picks. Really started to dig deep. I have to give a major shout out to Kaposa on Twitter. Without him, I don't know if I can make the picks, to be honest. Don't go hitting him up, GC, for this, but he actually does like a running log of everything. Makes it quite easy for me, if I'm being honest.
Cool. I'll hit him up.
No. So he has helped me out, and we're starting to fill in the slots, and I look forward to that. But of course, Wednesday will be our final show of the year, and it's only 3 shows that we're missing, so don't get all crazy and think that we're leaving you high and dry. We just, everyone needs a little time off. Okay. Oh, wow. How about SKD here on the YouTube channel? No, it's okay. You can play that. He just said, confession, I mute Ariel on Twitter when he starts talking exclusively about other sports during fight cards. Wow.
How does he know when to go back in?
I guess he just checks. It's not very
But I have to say you were spot on with the World Cup final being reminiscent of Liverpool, not before 2022.
I got a lot of shit for that.
I mean, I saw it too late, but that was a dart emoji response for sure.
I thought so. Everyone was going crazy. I was like, well, I feel like I just saw this match like 3 months ago. The same type of drama, same type of stakes, same type of athleticism on display. Superstars on both sides
Same
of the
amount
pitch.
of goals scored.
Tomato, but to me, I just felt like I was watching the same match all over again. It felt like deja vu all over again. So, in any event, I guess a lot of people didn't agree. I would venture to guess that it's because they didn't actually see the Liverpool Nottingham Forest Classic, if you will, Notts Forest, as the locals like to say. They've won 2, champions of Europe. You know that, right? You know who hasn't won one? Man City. They'll never sing that. They'll never sing that. Champions of Europe. They'll never sing that. Thank you very much to Drew Dober. Appreciate him very much. That was great stuff. Thank you very much to Jiří Procházka. Fascinating individual, and I wish him the best in 2023. I wish the best for all our guests, but he's going through a tough time right now. Gordon Ryan, that was great stuff as well. Appreciate him very much. And Alex Caceres, how fascinating was that? We're back on Wednesday, same time and place. Until then, we say peace. I'm out of here.